Yeah, so there were these big kind of like really nice soft cups, just like perfect.
Did you have your face in it, or were you just the bottom of your chin with the beard?
On either side, I was like, oh yes, that's right.
I kind of want to buy a motorboat.
Like a
yeah,
makes you feel that. Oh,
dude, Jesus again! Come on, man, we gotta focus.
Yeah, stop hitting that live. There we go. Yeah,
and in 3, 2,
5, 1. Yeah,
69, 8 something.
So welcome back, everyone. This is another Bangkok Strange live stream. It's our weekend coffee edition. So thank you, folks. Here we are. And Mikey with his. You didn't get your fake almond milk, condensed milk coffee today.
You know what? I should not have asked. I should not have tried to verify. I was a lot happier believing that the brownish milk that she was serving me was from almonds versus the Carnation Company.
You pushed it just a tad too far.
No, I should never.
A tad too far.
Asking people in the street that make food for the truth is not a wise move.
Not a wise move at all. Oh, you know, I just realized I did not add the server. Is your server up?
It is. It's my server up. You know what's funny, actually? So I had it set up to.
I haven't worried about that since high school.
Giggity. I've had it set up to shut off at 10 p.m. Right? Because it's like, well, I'm not going to, if I'm not using it by then it shuts.
Yeah.
And of course, now I was getting these notifications. Oh, yeah, BKK.FM's offline. I'm like, what? Okay, so I figured that out.
Yeah, also because there's an auto shutdown.
So remove that from the cron.
So now it's never down.
Ever, actually. And I have, so as of today, I have Silicon Valley, Vegas, Chicago, Germany, Singapore,
all cached
as my servers.
I get some people popping in. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, sorry I did not schedule this yesterday. Usually I get this out a day or two ahead of time, and you know I just flaked. I was doing some other stuff and completely flaked on scheduling. Hey, what's going on, man? Go Sticky Rice. Joe P, what's up,
Joe? What's up? Okay, hold on. Did you check your?
Yeah, Joe. Okay, let's check it. Let's see what Joe. Hey, Joe.
I don't expect it.
Give Joe the clap.
Oh, yeah, Joe, now that you're here in 3, 2.
Now you have the clap.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, now you get the clap. But there's ointment for that, actually, which is a good thing.
There can be. There absolutely can be.
Email. Oh, yeah, as long as I'm paying attention to this one.
Yeah, did you see that right now the vaccine situation is under review?
What, in Thailand?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if you have a vaccine, they're discussing like maybe no quarantine.
Oh yeah. I mean that makes sense. Sure, I had heard that. I didn't know whether they've sort of like actually done it.
I don't know if it makes sense, but it's a reality. It's something that they are discussing.
I think that I'm quite certain that like after March 26th, when Gracie finally gets out of quarantine, the rules will get lessened.
Yeah, most likely.
I'm sure the 27th they'll announce, well, you know, if you're from the Philippines,
5 days.
Yeah. So
let's talk about that because you're close. She gets on a flight in a few days.
Ridiculously close. And
she has the potential to get on a flight in a few days.
We believe that she has all of the paperwork necessary to get on a flight and head to Thailand on the 10th of March. She has gone through the certificate of entry process, which is it's pretty elegant how they've set it up. I've said that before. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the website they've instantiated is well done. The review process, obviously, it's quite simple. You can like hire people that work at McDonald's to do it. So that's good. The visa situation and here's what was interesting is her certificate of entry was approved before her visa was approved. And so that's actually good news for a lot of folks, because for those of us that have the ability to enter Thailand basically with the infamous 30-day stamp, a lot of people mistakenly refer to that as visa on arrival, but it's basically visa exempt entry is the correct term. But nonetheless, if you can do that, that 30-day stamp is now a 45-day stamp because they know you need to stay in a friggin' hotel for 16 days, 15 nights. And so they basically approved her coming to the country based on that. And then, of course, we're getting this additional visa. We're getting the TR visa so that we can change that effectively fairly easily into her being part of my OA.
So what is the TR?
Tourist visa. So it is so the validity of the visa is 90 days. When you enter, you stamp in for 60 days, which then you are allowed to extend for 30 more days. in that time, she and I will get married, get all the paperwork for that nonsense.
Yeah.
And then roll her underneath my OA, my retirement visa, effectively as my spouse, which will also allow me to get back to the Philippines. I still cannot physically enter the Philippines.
That you don't really care about.
Yeah, it's not a game changer. I will tell you that if it was not the way it is right now, I was actually very much looking forward to going to her mother's 60th birthday.
Yeah,
because that's apparently a very big deal.
So real quick, Patrick, I forgot to schedule the stream, so it's not an issue with YouTube today. Mike showed up at like an hour earlier than he normally does this morning. I'm laying in bed contemplating my day, and I'm getting messages from Mike like, "Hey, I'm here." I'm like, buddy. What? And I hear bing, bing, fuck. So I got dressed, went downstairs. I'm like, oh, you know what? I just realized I did not schedule yesterday, so let me jump on. And I scheduled it literally just a few minutes before we jumped on.
Here's the thing, and let me ask you this though, Patrick, because like I would schedule things too, but I have I have channels that I subscribe to, and I don't believe I get a notification like days ahead of time that there's an upcoming live stream. Do I?
I think if you subscribe to all notifications, if you click the bell, usually it will pop up in your little notification feed once they schedule something, and then you get 30 minutes before. Then you get they're live now.
Really?
Yeah.
30 minutes before. It's like
check out.
I have not experienced that. That's interesting. Huh. Well, YouTube notifications are probably the least reliable. They're reliably unreliable, actually. So
what does this say? Hey, guys, have you heard about new area quarantine? Area quarantine.
Yeah, that was was that from Ben's site or the Integrity Legal? Was he talking about that area quarantine? I haven't figured out what that is.
What's this, like hotels or quarantine?
No, at the end of the day, it's like a larger, because you know how they did the golf course thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, or you could stay on a boat. That was another thing too, I guess, for a while. And so I believe that that's what this is sort of the expansion of it. So who knows?
Gracie's here.
Hey, honey, good to see you.
No
Love
more
you.
Quarantine in the province as long as you have negative COVID test 72 hours before flight or arrival.
So if so she could actually go home right now from
in the Philippines.
Well, and she's had a test. Actually, her current test is now over 72 hours old.
Yeah,
she needed to get one to go into her Airbnb.
Gotcha.
Her next test will be Monday.
Yep. Pre-flight.
Her flight is, and then she gets the results Tuesday. Her flight is Wednesday. So, yeah, I mean, I will tell you guys that if you do have any questions about that, I do want to address something. And because I don't know if you pay attention to the Facebook, the Bangkok Strange Facebook group. So there's a chat in there. One of the guys pinged us about his visa. And he had made it from Malta to Istanbul. Okay. And then at the Thai embassy in Istanbul, he was saying that he can get an STV, right? He can get which is similar to the issue
you get that in other parts of
that
Istanbul
I would. Well, you got to wait to get the soy cowboy to really get that thing in.
That's where it gets stamped,
grinded right into you. That's where you get
bareback Walsh
stamped in. Which is it's an option if you want to come to Thailand for sure, and then it's probably fairly rudimentary to extend it for 90-day chunks, and then you're here for a full 9 months.
Yeah,
you have to leave at 9 months, and you cannot change that visa to any other kind of visa without leaving the country and coming back in. And he said in the chat for Bangkok Strange was that what he wants to do is come over here, start a business.
Yeah,
and I said, well, that's fine. I said, but if you come over here on a tourist visa,
not going to happen.
Then, no, because then you can actually get a business visa. You can transfer that. If you come over here on a special tourist visa, doesn't matter if you start a business and get and all the you cannot change. Otherwise, this guy would have a business visa.
So you think
without having to leave the country,
assuming that someone delivered. So Patrick says, who's ready for Mike's gratitude attack when she arrives and finishes quarantine?
So let me share this with you guys because I haven't made videos in a while. So there were two sort of big gratitude attacks that I had like in the last about week. The first one was Gracie and I were sitting around. I think I shared this last week, actually. It was the fact that it takes about 3 days for an embassy to process the certificate of entry application to get pre-approved.
Yeah.
We received pre-approval in 48 hours. And so I was pretty excited, got a little teary. Then they came back and they asked for additional information for her certificate of entry. And I'm like, oh, crap. So they wanted her return flight, which is weird, but meaning because it's a certificate of entry.
Yeah.
Now the visa, I can understand why they'd be like, look, we'll let you in our country, but you got to prove you're getting the hell out.
Yeah.
So I get that. I mean, she provided that with her application for a visa. So I freaked out. And then hours later, like I'm sorry, probably less than an hour later, after giving them that return flight, she gets another email before I even saw it. And it said, you've been approved, certificate of entry. I'm even getting goosebumps right now. I was sitting and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Which because of course I send you screenshots
of everything. And we've been talking about this all the time.
You're probably like, yes, Mike, I remember being 17 too. This is really exciting.
And Mariano, what's going on, man?
It is really, and then the next one was I sent them an email because we had to. So then the embassy comes back on her visa and says, we need a letter of invitation from your partner with a copy of his visa and all of this stuff. And I literally had my hand on the doorknob to leave my condo to go meet with some buddies. And I'm like, fuck, throw everything down on the ground. I get on, I start typing this email. I upload all these JPEGs of my everything.
Yeah, really? You're sending dick pics to the embassy?
Absolutely, because I'm like, listen, I'm the man here. I should be treated. And so so she comes back and she says, okay, that should be acceptable. And I'm like, great. So that was Wednesday. So then yesterday morning, Gracie and I are chatting, and I'm like, you know what? Hold on. Let me send them an email. So I sent them an email. I said, I was ridiculously gracious. Like, oh my God, I hope you have a wonderful week. But I'm like, is there any way you can let me know if my visa is ready today or whatever? She replies within probably what, honey, like 30 minutes. Your visa's been approved. Yeah. You can pick it up Monday at 3 p.m. And I was like, I mean, I just was like, I was exploding with gratitude because, I mean, we're pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Now,
of course, the Filipino government can always jump in and fuck you up at any time.
And so can the Thai. I mean,
at this point, the Thai government's like, yeah, you're ready.
Yeah.
I think everyone like who watches this stream, anyone who follows you knows you've been struggling with, especially the past couple months. Like this has been tough.
It's been more disappointing in the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's just been a reality thing or.
For me, I think it's since you were down in Krabi.
You think? Really?
Yeah. Like you definitely, it hit home for you.
Huh.
And I noticed, I think like Joe noticed.
Really?
Yeah. And so actually Joe had reached out. He's like, dude, Mike's really struggling.
Oh no. This is when I also was like really losing interest in any sort of nonsense about YouTube.
Yeah.
So I just said, I'm not doing this anymore.
But I mean, you and I were talking off camera, like about how tough it was. I mean, Joe had pinged me and was like, hey, it's really tough.
Thank you, buddy.
And Joe had kind of reached out and he was like, asked Jib if she could work on something. I've only got this shitty Saramonic box, but Joe had essentially commissioned a piece, something to for you. Yeah, open the box.
It's my dick in a box. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, wrong size box.
Wait,
it's a fucked up thing. You got to flip this up.
Is it magnetic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it.
So Joe,
are you serious?
Joe reached out to Jib.
She made me this?
Yeah, and asked if she could make a up top.
Thank you, Jib.
So Joe was concerned that you were gonna have a tough time in quarantine. And so you can throw this silly ass box.
That's a pretty nice box, actually.
Yeah, but it's really
this
weird.
Is fucking amazing.
So
look at this, guys. So
Joe was like, hey, can we make something that is Gracie-esque in Jib style?
Long hair.
Yeah. And so
wow,
we scoured Gracie's Facebook and we found this picture where she had
a little bit of hair.
No, where she had a red top and multicolored pants.
Yeah, and I know that exact outfit.
And her hair was actually like dyed like a little bit brown.
Yeah, so. She's changed the color a little bit lately.
So Jib, on Joe's request, Jib has created you a little Gracie stand-in.
Wow.
Until Gracie gets out of quarantine.
So
you all right there?
I'm good. So here's the thing is I get to live a life that most people literally would give their left nut for. They would be like, look,
or if you're the guy from BKK FM, you might give one of
BKK.FM.
BKK.FM.
But
you might give one of 37.
He's got an extra in his wheelbarrow. But like, I mean, stuff like this, I don't know why, quite frankly. I have the reaction that I do. But I'll tell you, I am really glad it's this reaction versus oh yeah, it's kind of cool, whatever, fucking yarn, no, dude. I mean, you guys, I'll give you a great example. So I turned 50, right? Big deal. Apparently it's a number. What's really important. And here's what Gracie got me. This bracelet. She made this.
When you turned 50, it was like a decade ago. So that's held up pretty well.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it was back when, when I had hair and I was able to walk and I didn't have the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people would be like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like she just made you. I said, yeah. It's the best fucking bracelet I've ever had in my entire life. I will never have a bracelet better than this until she makes me the next one.
So when Joe reached out, he was like, just like a little Gracie token in Jib style, because it was after we were showing the dolls that Jib makes on one of the live streams.
She makes ones like this.
So this is actually a doll she designed, the body and the head, and long time ago.
Yeah.
And she's done a whole series of these. And so Joe saw them on one of my live streams. He was like, hey, could we do something for Mike?
Dude, you guys fucking Joe, thank you, dude. God, I hope we can hang out with you when you get here, man. Get here. Fuck the RV. Yeah. Screw your grandson. I need Joe time. No, this is amazing. And I'm very excited about it. And stuff like this, because you guys have maybe heard of this thing. It's like the five love languages. Right. And so it's like one of them is like gift giving. The other one is spending time together. The other one is like acknowledgement. And the other one, and I'm not a gift giver. Right. I don't, and receiving gifts, that doesn't really make me, but it's time and attention and it's the little things, as they say. They mean an infinite more amount than I ever thought was possible. And I'll tell you, I'm also really grateful for that, too, because it made the transition from living in Southern California, where if you don't have, basically $10,000 in your pocket and $1 million in your checking account and, 10 million in savings, then you're nobody.
You're throwing a tent up on the sidewalk.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, clearly you're homeless, Mike. For God's sake, you've only got a fucking master's. My God, what are you, brain dead?
Yeah.
And I was able to be like, and Gracie asked me this one time. I vaguely remember, I think I was at home. She was back in the Philippines. We were talking about salary.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, is this amount of money a lot of money? And it was like, 10, 20, 30 million pesos, something like that.
It's like, what, $20?
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's like the Zimbabwe dollars. And I remember I told her like how much I was making, and she was like, so what's enough?
Yeah.
Like how much more, and to be fair, to live in Coronado, California, a lot more, Yeah,
very Coronado, especially, right?
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Some guy pinged me on LinkedIn, and this is rare, but he had an energy that I thought, okay, I'll spend some attention with this guy. I gave him my calendar. He set up an appointment. We had a call yesterday, like 7:30 in the morning, and I was talking with him. And he's like, "Yeah, I moved from Chicago to San Diego," and I'm like, "Oh, because you wanted to save money," and
save money on heating.
Yeah, basically, right? He's like, "Yeah, it's kind of expensive out here." I'm like, "Kinda." I said, "Dude, all you got to do is if you heard of Google," and but yeah, he says, well, where would you recommend I live? I said, well, I recommend you should live in Coronado.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what did it cost?
Right on the beach.
Yeah. I said, look, here's the thing. You live in San Diego. I mean, what are you going to live inland? If you're going to live inland, live in freaking El Centro.
Do you know who Jocko Willink is?
No, who's that?
He owns a government consulting company. He's a former Navy SEAL.
Okay.
Like the Jocko podcast, and he's in a bunch of space right now, but he basically spent 90% of his career in San Diego.
Oh, okay. And that's where the SEALs, they make them there.
Yeah, you're either there or Virginia, right? And then he spent some time in DC.
Yeah.
But and obviously all his time in other places outside the US. But he's based in San Diego for most of his time. And I was watching one of his podcasts where he was talking about, him and his wife decided they were going to move down to the beach. Mm-hmm. And so they rented like a house that was essentially half their size.
Yeah.
It was more expensive than the mortgage on the house they were living in.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And they basically moved in there for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. There was like a 2-bedroom, so all their kids like had to bunk up. And but he was like every morning walk out and surf.
There's the Pacific,
and then get to work after your surf.
Yeah.
And go to he does jujitsu and stuff, so you go jujitsu after work, go back, home.
That's actually a pretty common paradigm: is get up in the morning, surf, and then get in your car and go to work.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of guys that do that there. So, and professionals. I mean, not guys that, oh yeah, I just got out surfing. Now I'm going to go work at the restaurant or whatever as a waiter.
Living on the beach and grew up in Rhode Island. I'm sure Massachusetts is the same way, right? There are people who would basically take the summer, quit their job, go out to some beach town
Mm-hmm.
and work as a waiter.
Oh, sure, in college.
Run a hot dog stand
Painter,
or whatever. Yeah,
paint houses
over on the beach.
Yeah, for sure.
Live in, like 20 dudes renting a house and just live there all summer.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, I liked Chatham down the Cape, but I mean, right in the middle, right? Oh my God, I just forgot the name of those places. Jesus, what are the real popular towns in Cape Cod? Do you remember?
Provincetown.
No, that's way at the end, right in the middle at the bottom. Oh my God, it's so
Hyannisport.
Yes, well, no, that's where you take the boat over to the vineyard. But I'm trying to remember.
In the Cape,
this is horrible.
I think in the Cape, all I know is Hyannisport and P-Town.
No judgment.
No judgment.
Although here's what's funny about like basically communities that one could argue are globally, or not globally, but certainly in the United States, known for the homosexual population, for the gay population, right? The properties are immaculate and they're worth way too much money.
I think Provincetown is only known for that one parade, right? So it's not like a gay town all year.
Oh, it's a wicked gay town.
Is it?
Yeah. In fact, okay, so the shirt that I got, it was the first one.
They'd be like, that's a normal shirt.
I bought that there.
Oh, okay.
That's where I actually bought the thing.
So I always thought, like, I know they have the big parade there, and like that whole month that they do that thing is big. But other than that, like I've been there other times, and it's like kind of seems like a pretty racist New England town.
I mean, so the last time I was there was, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. And yeah, I mean, you go down the street. I mean, there's gay clubs and it's very gay.
So I remember being in Algonquin, Maine, which is apparently pretty gay.
Yeah, Algonquin?
Yeah.
That's what they are.
And I was up there on vacation. It was like fall, right? The end of fall. So it was like end of season. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I remember driving through the town because it's one of these New England towns, one road straight through the middle.
Yeah.
And you're driving up, I'm looking for my hotel, and I see this old couple, like 70-year-old dudes walking holding hands. It's like, oh, it's quaint. Not knowing anything about like what the town's like.
Yeah.
And I get up and get to my hotel. I think it's called like the Brass Monkey or something. And I get
the Funky Monkey?
It might have been the Funky Monkey, the Brass Monkey or the Funky Monkey, something like that.
Brass Rail?
No.
No judgment.
I think there was some of that going on in the room next door. But,
Good.
But I remember when we get up there, they're like, "Oh, you guys are here together." I was with a girl. I was like, "Yeah." Like, okay, here's your keys.
Yeah,
enjoy the room.
Yeah. I was like, "Well,
I think it was like a 10-room hotel. Not even
little bed and breakfast kind of place. Yeah. That's very common there.
Yeah, what a great. This is before I was vegan. I ate lobster 5 times a day when I was on that trip.
So here's what's funny. When I was my 13th birthday, got about I believe by 14 or 15, I got my lobster license.
Yeah.
To go catch some lobbies.
Yeah.
So I got 2 lobster pots. And to give you an idea of how long ago this was, the way that you basically displayed your license is you had, the buoys, right? The lobster pot.
White numbers on your buoy is your license.
Last 4 digits of your social security number.
Oh, yes. Okay. So that was a while
ago. It was a while ago. So that was fucking hilarious. But anyway, so I had this old Coke machine in the basement.
Yeah.
And we got to the point where by like August, sick and tired of lobster because there was and I only had 2 pots. And the easiest thing to do, go to the store, buy a can of tuna fish, poke holes into it with an awl, throw that into the thing and just throw it over.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would you pull the thing up and, the first time I did this, pull the lobster pot up, they're like, it's like, oh my,
600 lobsters.
You're like, Jesus Christ. No wonder guys do this for a living. I mean, it's, pretty lucrative, right?
Yeah. And that's just doing it as like an amateur
totally
thing, yeah.
To the point where like, I mean, I had the rope and everything and I tied there were obviously it's the New England town, all you gotta do is walk down the street. There was a guy that like knew all about it. He had like 70 of them stacked up next to his shed.
Throw a couple traps in your whaler.
Yeah, I hucked it in the whaler. I had a 13-foot whaler. Yeah. You had to have a fucking whaler. Yeah. I had a whaler. I had like 3 buddies that had whalers, dude. I mean, it was if you've ever seen the show Flipper, other than having a dolphin, that was pretty sweet. Like if I could have driven this thing to school, I would have totally done that, man. Totally done that. Brass Monkey, that funky monkey. You see?
Joe wants to know if you like the candy and the sunglasses.
I did. Thank you a lot for the sunglasses. I didn't bring those with me because unfortunately I have prescription sunglasses, but one of the things
you got to talk into the mic if you want people to hear you. Mike's going through his bag here. And Mr. Mitch says a can of tuna works.
You want to double click on some of this? You want some of my fucking Big League Chew? He sent you some too, right?
Yeah, I ate it all.
Joe, I got to tell you,
the level of juicy in that Big League Chew is pretty wild.
it's like Juicy Couture, basically, like with it. I've not opened it yet, Joe, because they're so the short answer is I loved the candy. Thank you so much, especially the what were the honey ones?
A bit of honey.
Bit of honey, yeah. So the bit of honey and it brought back great memories. Not the this.
Yeah, this was. I gave some to Jim, and Jim's like, "Oh my god!" But I'm like, "Babe, it's pure sugar."
Yeah, no wonder you people are so thin in the U.S., right? Yeah, no, but I remember
700 calories just to chew this gum.
The total, it's all sugar. It's all like 10 calories per serving.
Yeah, which is like
exactly right. Yeah.
What's the serving size?
Oh God, one strand probably.
20 servings per container. So
20? Jesus Christ! False. Yeah,
absolutely
not. So.
But 8 pieces of the 8 little shreds of this gum is one serving.
Come on, not if you're from the U.S.
No, that bag is a serving.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because and
you want that big wad on the side of your mouth.
And here's what's interesting about this product is when I was a kid. So just to give you another, and I'm only 52.
Yeah.
But I mean, the point is that it gives you an idea of like where I grew up, when I grew up, how I grew up. Old Man Mike's. There were new products that came out on the market. This was one of them.
Yeah.
The second one, the third one was Bubblicious.
Oh yeah, Bubblicious.
And Bubble Yum.
Yep.
None of those existed.
Yeah.
Before, like when I was a kid, they were new. And Twix.
Twix wasn't around.
No, Twix wasn't around. Oh. So it came about right when I was a kid. And the interesting thing is that this is Big League Chew, which of course is kind of a mock on chewing tobacco.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
Did you have fake cigarettes? Candy
when I was a
cigarettes?
kid, you still saw them at the shops, but they were pretty much taboo when I was a kid.
So here's what I loved about buying them when I thought I was cool. The ones I bought had this like powdered sugar on it.
And you could blow it out.
Like it was smoke.
Yeah.
Now, I had no desire to smoke cigarettes. But for some reason, I associated it with basically being cool.
Yeah.
You know? And and I remember like my buddies, their older brothers.
Yeah.
Chip was my buddy Steve's older brother. And Chip would smoke cigarettes. Yeah. He also drank a shitload of Tab.
Yeah.
To give you an idea of the generate. Because there was no Diet Coke yet.
Yeah.
And so, and he would smoke actual cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at him like, dude, you're not cool. As I'm doing this, blowing powdered sugar out into the universe.
Yeah, imagine being the company that made like the candy cigarettes back in the day. Today, you're just gonna be like, oh, luckily that's not. Hide that from the portfolio.
It's well, yeah. I mean, it's like, what is it? What's the company that's Philip Morris, right? They were pretty much associated with Marlboro, and I mean, God, those guys pull in so much money, and because they own a portfolio of products, right? But
yeah.
Anyway, so Joe, I want to thank you so much for all of the generosity.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joe.
Because I know that the reason I get these is because he sends you packages as well. I mean, they don't come to me.
No, we still get something waiting for Eric as well. So when I see Eric, I got a big envelope for him.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Joe, if you can find atomic fireballs for the next package.
Oh God, you can buy
cinnamon ball
giant jar of those fucking Costco.
Fucking love those.
What was the other thing that well, I mean, I've always loved Snickers bars.
Yeah.
Always loved Snickers bars. Here, when I was growing
anything cinnamon, so atomic fireballs and hot tamales.
Hot tamales were really excellent. I completely agree with that. Mike and Ike's.
Yeah. But they get stuck up in your teeth.
Of course they do. Yeah. And then you go, and you pull them down like you're getting an extra. Like you had extra.
But the fireballs, the atomic fireballs, just pop that in, the cinnamon. It's like.
It was weird. I remember I also felt like one of the grown-up kids when I could like put the atomic fireball in my mouth and not have to take it out.
Yeah.
You know
you're a badass.
Like, oh, yeah. What up, 7th grade? How you doing?
He says when he was a kid, he always wanted blackjack gum, the licorice or the green apple flavor gum. That was my sister's. Wouldn't want
green apple. Never. So blackjack I love.
Yeah, I know blackjack.
It's good.
I never knew green apple.
I liked the It's fruit something. I can't remember, but it was Fruit Stripe. Is that the name of it?
Oh, no,
Fruit
you're
Stripe
thinking
gum?
of Fruity Juice.
Fruity Juice, yeah. So that, and there was like 2 or 3 other brands.
Fruity Juice is similar to this. Like this, you start chewing this, it tastes juicy.
Oh, yeah. No,
Like,
this is like,
but it's basically just the pure sugar filling your mouth. Like,
it's bubble gum. This is like definitely, I dig shit like this, dude. I'm a huge fan of this. The other reason I really like this is there's this woman who basically sits underneath this tree. She probably weighs like 35 kilos, right out from BKK Bagels.
okay.
Right. So underneath
Pong.
No, BKK Bagels is it?
Chitlum.
Chitlum, yeah. So I walk by and she makes these and she's like actually sewing them, like making them there, right? So I lean down and I'm like, what are these for? And she tells me, and she got a sign in perfect English, right? And it's like, these will allow me to send my son to school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I look whatever, I walk by. The next weekend when I'm out there for the bagels, she's same deal, sewing, and her son's sitting next to her.
Yeah.
And this kid is like, probably 8, 9. Hello, sir. How are you? Perfect. I'm like, you're going to a good ass school, kid.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I come by the next time and her son's not there.
Yeah.
So I buy 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right. 100 baht.
Yeah.
Little steep, right? But again,
Well, I don't know think of how long they take to make.
I get it. I totally get it. And I certainly do not have the skill set to be able to. I can't do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it always impresses me that. But anyway, I'm really bummed Jib's not here.
Yeah, she's at home with her
the whole day, or is she
family,
going to cruise back?
She'll be back.
I mean, I can
point.
send her a message online, but I mean, I am actually going to totally say.
Yeah, she's with our niece.
So when you see a little baby, are you like, oh? Are you like, oh?
No, I mean she's cute. I mean,
you think really?
It's because she's our niece. It's like.
Is that? Yeah, I don't. I like adults. Like I like. Well, that's not. I mean, I used to prefer like college age kids that are starting like their career. Like I just interface with them really
kids
well.
are cute. Oh, Jib's online. Hey, Jib. Hey, babe.
Hey, Jib. Thank you. That's friggin' awesome, man. Thank you. And on behalf of Gracie, thank you so much.
So to me, like kids have cute features, right?
You think?
Yeah. So kids are cute.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's our niece, right? That's cute. Right?
Is it?
Yeah. Because plus, Jib will send me photos every time she's home and like near the baby. But for the most part, like I don't want to hang around kids all day.
No.
Like
no. The minute they make noise, I'm like duct tape.
Yeah. I don't mind to see them from a distance.
Yeah.
But like the nice thing about like that being our niece is like she starts crying or something and hand her back to mom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. DUN done.
Yeah.
I have actually here's a couple of interesting things that I've also been excited about that have happened in my life lately. And I assume there's a portion of the whole just getting older that is the reason that this is happening.
Oh, Jib says my voice is too low. No, I'm set at the same.
You actually do sound about the same as I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I'm occasionally overpowering audio wise, but
maybe, yeah.
So I knew Gracie had a daughter. She's very upfront with that when we first met. And I was a little apprehensive about meeting her because I'm like, I wonder like how she's gonna. And she was really, pretty standoffish when she first, because like, who's this tall friggin' white guy? Like he's he's the only white guy in our entire village
on the island.
Like, yeah, right. It's like who. So I get it. But then the second time I came there, I think that sort of gave her some idea that, okay, he's not just like here for the month. Like he's staying, you know. And we got to know each other a little bit. And the other thing that's been really disappointing, not the least of which is not being with Gracie in the last year, is not being able to hang out with Euryce.
Yeah.
Because her English is to the point where she and I will chat on Facebook.
Mm.
And it's actually getting better, like regularly getting better. And I really miss hanging out with her because I like the fact that, well, the other thing that makes me cry sometimes is when, she's like, well, you know what I want to do? I'm like, I don't know what. She goes, well, I want to be an engineer because Tito Mike's an engineer.
Oh,
I fucking lose it when I hear that shit, but she also wants a mountain bike.
Yeah.
So that's cool. She's still 13, 14. I can't remember how old she is, but she's around that age.
She got the scooter. Why she want a mountain bike?
I know Gracie bought the scooter. Yeah. Did I tell you? Do you know that
she's the driver?
Well, she taught Gracie how to drive the scooter, right? Which is friggin'. She also taught Gracie how to ride a bicycle.
Okay.
Which is really excellent, So I thought that was really awesome. But yeah, so I miss like hanging out with her. But yeah, the whole kid thing, I've never sort of that, and the fact that I never thought I would feel so excited about getting married.
Yeah.
That was just something that I was like, I don't, because I'm in Southern California.
Hmm.
People don't get married in Southern California. They get fucking divorced in Southern California.
It seems to be the
51%. I mean, it's just, come on. More of my buddies, 2, 3, X, Y. So I thought, okay, whatever. And I just was like, it's a contract, not doing it. But like lately, and as we've been preparing all this paperwork and stuff, that's the pain in the ass part. But I'm like really excited to be her husband.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
No, I mean, you're into it.
That's fucking awesome, dude. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be awesome. Because I'll remember, she told me a while ago, she's like, look, I just want to be the best wife I can possibly be. Now, how many guys in America would give their left nut for their white wife to say that to them?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm on board because it's a team effort.
Indeed.
I mean, I don't show up with ovaries. I expect her to show up with those. She has a little bit of testicular expectation as well.
You would hope.
She wants me to have a plan.
This is Thailand, though. It could go both ways.
It is Thailand. You know what's great about where I go to meetings is there's 2 restrooms. And one of them has a sign in pink that says women. The other one is blue and says men.
Yeah.
In both of them, there's a sit-down toilet and a urinal.
Mm.
What bathroom in the world or in the United States says women but has a urinal?
Only in Thailand.
Genius move, right?
Hey, real quick, Joe's asking our Croc sizes. He found some Crocs on sale at Walmart.
So I do not like Crocs, and here's the reason why. I bought them when that's another thing that first came out when I was a kid.
Really? When you were a kid, they came out? I thought those came out like in the 2000s.
Oh yeah, good question. Maybe they didn't come out until I moved to California.
Joe, I'm a 13, by the way.
For when I wear them, for some reason, and I thought, I just need to cut my nails. My nails, it's like they hit the plastic or the rubber, and it's as if the rubber is pulling my nails up.
That doesn't sound fun.
It is not fun at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I would probably rather hang out in a multi-sex restroom with lady boys than have that happen to my feet.
Yeah, I like Crocs. I think they're fun. Jib, what's your? I think Jib's a 9 or an 8, something like that.
Would it? Oh yeah,
but
US.
I'm a 13. I have a big ass foot.
You have an ass foot?
Big ass foot.
I'm trying. I think I'm 44. I don't really know my.
An 11.
Yeah, I'm an 11.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
I'm a 48.
48. Yeah.
It says 13.
Well, literally, I mean, this is gonna sound like, but like literally everything on you is bigger than me.
Indeed.
You have a bigger head, bigger neck, arm, your
everything. Everything.
And I'm fine with that. I mean, it's not like Gracie's like, oh no, forget it. That's too. No, and so. It's but it's gonna be neat though. I think really like I mean this is a full-on partnership. I knew that, but I think it's gonna be just like this additional layer of friggin' awesome.
Have you planned for what day is your wedding yet?
No, the short answer is we don't know because I mean so on Tuesday I go to the U.S. Embassy and I raise my hand and say I can do all this stuff, and then they give me basically pieces of paper that say that they believe I'm me who's telling the truth for $100.
Thomas says, y'all make sure that Croc sizes don't equate if they are made in Mexico and Canada. Totally different sizes.
What? Well, I mean, you mean the number,
yeah.
Right?
So like I'm a EU 48, which is.
You said 13.
Yeah. Well, actually, so when I buy my Nanyang's, though, I buy them 47 because Nanyang's actually run big. Right. So like I buy Nanyang's 47, but. My shoe size, like normal shoe, like if I buy sneakers, like running shoes or gym shoes, I buy a 48.
Yeah. Oh, I need new sneakers, by the way. I gotta.
You gotta get something that your insoles go in, right?
Dude, well, I mean, they go in any shoe, right? You just pull the old ones out and put the new ones in. I am so thrilled with these because usually I have to get custom ones, like they heat them, they mold them to your feet, and they're about twice as much. But
morning, Deanna. One tutorial asked, "What's the theme of today's discussion?" Usually, these weekend ones don't have theme. It's drinking caffeinated beverages early in the morning,
kicking back,
talking about nothing.
I mean, I'll always talk about gratitude. I mean, it's like that always happens, right? I can't not do that. But the other thing
that up.
To the whole the date. Because I shared with you what I think would hopefully be a good idea, which is effectively
Jib and I are in.
Yeah, you show up. It kind of, I mean, again, I don't know if that exists here, but best man.
Yeah.
And then Jib potentially is like maid of honor, unless, of course, Gracie, you have a friend here that you'd want to have that role. But regardless, I think we need some degree of witness, right? Like, what did you and Jib do when you went through the whole process?
So our agent was the witness.
Okay, now they physically stood next to you.
Yeah.
Prior to going in, did you have to have everything translated into Thai?
Yeah, so you have to. There's stuff you got to get. You have to get a blank form stamped at the embassy. Then you fill it out essentially.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going Tuesday, so they'll give me whatever I'm giving me.
They put the notary stamp, $50 to notarize.
I think I need 2. I'm not quite sure what documents I need.
I forget what it was, and then you have to bring that and get it translated. So my agent took care of all of that.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they do the translation, and you have to hand everything in at the office, and they look at it like, yep, okay, good.
So this is like a justice of the peace sort of scenario if you compare it to the U.S. Yeah,
and I think we paid like an extra 1,000 baht for like the book with the 2 certificates in it.
Oh, you know, I anticipate having to travel with our marriage certificate for the rest of our lives.
So they have like a little fancy notebook thing that they have in each side, and then you open it up and boom, there it is.
And what's this called? The Umpu? How do you?
Umpu.
Yeah,
that's the district.
And it's like what's their office, though, right?
It's the official government office of the Umpu, which is the sub-district of Bangkok.
We're both in Bang Na, right? Or are you in Prakanong?
I'm in Prakanong, but you don't have to do it. Oh, Joe, thank you for the coffee, man.
Oh, did you seriously? Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Joe, you rock. But yeah, so you don't have to do it in your district. You can do it in any district. So I think we did it in Dam Myong.
Oh, interesting. So so we'll see how that works. But I will tell you that I know the day of our honeymoon. It's the entire year. the whole rest of this year, once she gets here, our honeymoon.
Oh, did you already buy your Air Asia Unlimited?
Absolutely. I got 2 of them. One for me, one for her. They were
35 this year?
Yeah, it's 35,000 baht. And sorry, 3,500 baht. Thank you. 3,500 baht versus like $100 last time. But totally worth it. And
so it's on like what, 110 versus actually with today's exchange, probably quite a bit more.
I think it's like $125 basically. Excuse me. I think actually it was 127.
I think Dave, gotta love Thailand, he got it as well for him and his wife.
So interestingly enough, I found out about the first deal that I had last year through him.
Yeah.
And then I found out about this one and let him know. Because I'm like, dude, because here's the thing is if you had the one from last year, you got notified 2 days prior to the other ones going on, and they only sold 40,000 of them. And I'm like, well, I thought that would be a lot, but apparently, because they only sold it to the 7th.
Yeah.
What's today, by the way?
It is the 6th.
So if you guys are coming over here at all this year, I totally encourage you to go to airasia.com if you're going to spend any time in Thailand and get this special. They called it the AirAsia Unlimited Pass. Anyway, it's totally worth it. But here's the thing. So I'm like all excited that we're going to save shitloads of money. Then I go online, Google flights, and I look for Bangkok to Phuket. Because, of course, where do you go on your honeymoon but Phuket, right? And I want to show her all the stuff that I did along with all the stuff that I said I'm not going to do this until she gets here. And $9.
Yeah. For the flight.
$9 one way. Vietjet. Out of freaking Suvarnabhumi, bro.
It's going to take you a long time to make up that difference.
It's going to cost us more to get from our condo to the airport than it is on a plane I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
And the AirAsia flies out of Suvarnabhumi now.
No. So that flight I'm talking about for $9, that is Vietjet.
Oh, Vietjet.
Yeah. But you know, because I'm all excited that I just got this huge pass. And I'm like, well, shit. It's only going to cost me $9 to get the freaking Phuket, which, you know. But nonetheless, it's free regardless. I mean, $100 to go anywhere on a goddamn plane.
Unlimited, right?
You pay tax.
So you can essentially just fly all year, like nonstop.
Yeah. And here's the thing: is that 2-week advance purchase?
Yeah.
Well, I know exactly where Gracie's going to be on the 27th of March.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
And
so you basically getting her out of quarantine and jumping on a plane.
So to the point of the marriage thing, I naturally thought we should do that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, we should probably spend some time together.
Would help.
So there's that.
It's been a little while.
But then for all I know, like we're going to go to this marriage place or whatever, the Umpu. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, no problem. Just go to a website and make an appointment 2.5 months from now.
That's probably what they're going to do.
It's going to be like, fuck. So
you do need an appointment.
And is there an online Jib? Can you help? I'm gonna have to send her a message. But if you're Jib, can you help me with that, please? Because
we use the agent. I don't even think she knows.
Oh, you tell him for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Gracie found this guy. You know what's weird? Like we've reached out to. She reached out to someone. Someone sent me something, and then there's some. They all quote 25,000 baht.
Yeah.
to do the thing. So I'm like, well, this is easy. We'll just next finish on this.
Yeah, standard pricing. Oh, there's so many people on the market, no one's undercutting anyone.
Yeah, which is nice, right? I mean, so that's kind of cool. And so I'm pretty confident that that'll get done. But for all I know, they'll be like, oh yeah, just come in on Friday.
Yeah.
And for all I know, we'll be married in 2 weeks.
I think ours is a couple weeks out.
Yeah. How did you make the appointment to get your driver's license?
So I went to my license expired in December.
Yeah.
I went to the Ministry of Transport, which is smack in the middle between you and I.
Yeah, totally. Super easy to get to.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's a 40-baht Grab motorbike ride.
100, right? Or is it 90?
It's it might be 100, but no, it's its own like little passageway, but it's between something.
Yeah.
So anyway, over there, right? It's a 40 baht. It's 37 baht to go to the BTS station at the top of my soy.
Mhm.
It's 40 baht to go to the Ministry of Transport.
Right.
So Jib and I went in there on the December, which your license expires on your birthday here. Super inconvenient if your birthday
not your first one. Because I have a 2-year one, it expires like sometime like 2 years after I got it.
So yeah, mine expires on my birthday. I don't know. I don't remember my first one. It's like my third or fourth.
Yeah. So you got what is 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So go out, and I went there in December, and they're like, "Oh, you have to make an online appointment."
Okay.
And we're like, "Oh no, the website doesn't work," because Jib had already seen that.
Oh.
Won't let me register because I'm a foreigner. My license number doesn't register in the system.
You're right. I had to use my Thai ID, which of course I don't have.
Yeah, and so the woman's like, "Oh, okay. Here's we're taking appointments for February 6th."
Oh, so I need to physically go there to make an appointment.
And this was like December 10th.
Yeah, so 2 months.
And so she's like, and I'm like, well, my license expires on the 30th, right, which is my birthday.
Yeah.
So
she's probably like, whatever.
Yeah, she's like, no big deal.
Like, what are you gonna get pulled over?
I was like, so if I get pulled over, what do I do? She's like, just tell them that you're waiting to renew it.
Totally.
I'm like, okay. She's like, they'll understand. I'm like, probably not, but okay.
Maybe, but they'd be,
Yeah, like imagine if you told the cop, I'm waiting for another month to renew my license because I have an appointment. They'd be like, yeah, okay, back to the paddy wagon.
Paddy wagon? Dude, nice one. That was tight. I haven't heard that since. My God, is your name Elliot Ness? That's like pretty good.
Hey, real quick, Thomas asked, don't you want to know, did you get her an Elite? I know the answer to this, but you had discussed potentially purchasing an Elite before.
No, I didn't bother because, and the reason I was thinking about doing it at the time is at the time, that was the only visa that was allowed in here if you were not a Thai citizen. And we were pretty desperate at that time. But, so we got approved for it. And actually, trust me, there was a part of me that was like, shit, it's going up to 600,000 baht in January. So come December, I was like, maybe we should do this because, of course, it's good for 5 years. But we had some other priorities that we were taking care of in the Philippines, and she really couldn't, necessarily come here. So no, we didn't end up doing that. But
strange. You looked at that and, of course, the Elite visa thing. I know that you had looked at it and they had a hard time getting back to you originally, right?
Considering it's elite, their customer service was quite good. The problem is that at the end of the day, you need to go through the embassy in that person's country. And so we would need to go through the Thai embassy in Manila. And at the time, the website for the Thai embassy in Manila was, remember I told you it was like, what did I say? 2016, where they're updated documents. And Gracie tried to call the phone numbers on there to ask them, hey, do you guys know about affixing a Elite visa thing? Because it's got to come in a special pouch. Do you have any experience? So 2 of the phone numbers she called just rang, no one answered. The other one was disconnected. And this is the phone number that they have published on the website. So I was like, all right, well, this is bad news. So she goes there, right? She asks her brother to go there to like ask them questions at the front. And they're like, oh, no, you can't park here. And he's like, well, where am I supposed to park? They're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, you're not real welcoming. So there was a lot of factors that went into me not spending 500,000 baht. But no, so it probably would have been, a decent solution, but I'm pretty confident now that having her as part of my visa now
makes more sense.
Yeah. And I think it'll also be a hell of a lot easier for me to make her part of my business visa once we can, basically do a border run
someday.
Yeah.
So actually, one tutorial asked, what's hot in Bangkok right now? Bangkok itself is what's hot right now.
Yeah,
We're,
exactly.
we're definitely creeping into summer early here.
It's March, man.
It's 36 degrees the other day.
Fucking awesome. All day
Yeah,
long.
you like that.
I love it.
I
Yeah,
hate
hot,
that.
hot, humid.
Bring me back to 28s.
Nah, it's great.
Dion says, just check the Air Asia about the unlimited pass. Sold out.
Yeah, bummer. Well, good for them, but I got to tell you, considering it's Air Asia,
Yeah.
I was surprised that they put a cap on it.
I wonder what their loss is on that. Like someone like you, they're obviously losing because you flew a lot.
I flew a lot, but I'm also tall. And
Yeah.
so my flight's going to, my tickets will cost me whatever tax is, which I think is like $4, $3. But then I buy
real quick, guys, let me know is the audio level sound good for Mike and I? Because Jim is saying that I'm really low compared to Mike. So
you have AGC on, right?
Yeah, AGC is on, but we're also both balanced out the same. And I'm looking at
the VUs.
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, I'm like one LED hotter.
No, we're good. We're both hitting the next to last.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're both hitting pretty well.
All right. I should hit that.
Yeah, so guys, let me know how it sounds to you, just out of curiosity.
All right, I thought you were just like, oh shit, we're not streaming, for God's sake, because of course I forgot to do it. But
I'm still trying to figure out what happened with StreamYard that day. I opened a ticket and no response.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, they've been, they got bought.
Yeah.
And
good acquisition is always a good thing. So good for them.
Well, yeah, it's great for the owners. It bums me out when it's shitty for the customers. But again, to be fair, I mean, they've automated the crap out of everything.
So,
and
Houston, I'm wondering about insurance policy with expired license. Any excuse to? Yeah, no, for sure.
What?
Like if you have insurance on your vehicle and you get into an accident, you have expired license, liability probably won't pay out.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm an insurance company, I'm going to look for every reason to not. So
that's their job, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Thomas says, I'm in the same situation as you. Have a place in Chiang Mai, but my fiance is Pinay.
Basically means she's Filipina.
So I keep looking at what to do currently in the States, but want to go back to Chiang Mai with her. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, now they can travel pretty easily, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal with your Filipina wife, or did you say girlfriend, whatever. And here's the thing: tourist visas at the Thai embassy in the Philippines, they're free for Filipinas. She needs $1,000 in the bank, which is totally reasonable. She needs to have a return flight, basically proving that she's going to leave. And she does need to have. So here's the thing: they required that I give her an invitation letter because I live here. So if you have a place in Chiang Mai, you could certainly try and give them an invitation letter. However, one of the requirements for me to invite her to Thailand was that I show them the entry stamp as well as my TM6, which means I basically physically needed to be here.
So actually, when I renewed my license, the website says you need a photocopy of your visa page, and what they really wanted was a photocopy of my entry stamp, my last entry.
You do. Oh God,
which wasn't.
It's like 2 passports ago or something.
Yeah, it's
right?
like 2019.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's weird.
So I had to go like photocopy that. Hey Steve, what's going on, man? Hey, so Steve tagged me in a coffee thing the other day online. And it was CNN. CNN apparently does listicles now with like affiliate links.
Listicles? What the hell's that?
So we make a list article.
Oh, okay.
And the affiliate links, everything. But I was joking with Steve on Twitter. I was like, these motherfuckers are mixing. Anyone who talks about coffee measurements by the tablespoon is just wrong.
How do you?
By grams, man. You wait by weight.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
No random volumetric measurements when it comes to coffee.
It's very interesting how everyone is so different, right? But people have their passions.
Yeah.
Right. Like some guys are like really into flowers. Like, I mean, obviously, gay
earth shirts.
Yeah. I'm into gay earth shirts, but earth is obviously into, making these things. Some people are into, knitting, and thank God, because of course that makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
That's actually the parasites.
And there's that, from all of the street food I eat. But and then of course, you have no desire to spin up a Unix server or Linux server and just like mess with it.
Not anymore.
Yeah. And I dug it, dude. All week I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Spinning them up. I run. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in general, you should not be doing any type of measurement with spoons.
I don't know.
Right. It should always be by grams.
Okay.
Right. You should always be measuring if you're doing anything, right? It just makes sense to use metric weight.
I mean, that's a real easy discussion to have outside the U.S. Sure, but I mean, you have that in the United States. They're like, "What the hell?" Like, I started coming over here for a while, and I cruise home, and I'm like, "Dude, that's got to be at least 3 meters away." And the guy's like,
"What?
Oh, yeah, Mr. International Travel." I'm like, "You fucking home."
This is once you learn metric, because we don't learn it in the U.S. unless you're an engineer.
So true.
Right. So
yeah,
once you like experience living with metric outside the US, there's no going back.
You know what's funny? You talk about like learning it, right? I mean, I remember learning it like in grade school and stuff. But as far as being an engineer as well as science, I knew it was 9.8 meters per second squared, right? The acceleration due to gravity.
Well, because that's the only way they teach it.
Which was awesome. And then someone's like, well, how many feet per second is that? I'm like, I mean, I know it's 32.
Leave.
But precisely. Thank you. You know, and I was like, you know what, dude, go get your, philosophy degree or whatever which is important too. Yeah. I mean, as an engineer, trust me, I've seen plenty of psychiatrists and I'm psyched that guy didn't have a passion for calculus. And
you want to talk about acceleration of gravity and feet per
second?
Not happening.
But I just,
So
it's really interesting, right?
Yeah. Why? It's not interesting. It's sad that America couldn't make the switch. There was not enough political will. When metric is the clear superior system.
And so when I was a kid, they did. Right? They tried.
Well, they did. They didn't.
Was that? No, I know they didn't, but they tried. Were you part of that? Like, do you remember seeing 100 kilometers an hour on the freeway?
No, because I was a decade after.
You're a decade after me, yeah. So I remember doing that. And at the time, the only country that I was going to regularly was Canada.
The motherland.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got to. I mean, I was just like, oh my God, you guys skate? Done. I'm so in. CTMs. Give me some Bowers, buddy. I'm all about that friggin' ice. Red ice, red ice, red ice. And so I would go up, and it's we have those signs in the US now. I don't know how long it lasted though. Maybe 3-4 years.
There's a lot. It's the political will to do it, but it's also you got to change the entire education system. And let's be honest, there's some good teachers in America, but not the majority. No, unfortunately.
Well, okay, I have absolutely I should not agree with that or disagree with it. I have no knowledge of that.
Yeah.
The problem is that my sphere, if people were to ask me how many, the kind of professors, the kind of teachers that you've interfaced with, I would be like, Jesus Christ, they're the best in the world.
Well, look, our primary education system ranking globally speaks for itself.
I guess. I mean, but I can tell you my experience. It's fucking amazing. There were more.
You grew up in Massachusetts, which was the #1 state for education in the U.S.
And our town had more Harvard-educated teachers in a fucking high school, guy. And so it was
you got the Harvard rejects, all the guys who graduated from Harvard. Like, I don't know what to do. I'll teach.
So it's
seems
interesting.
Like a nice place to live.
Well, it's a pretty nice place to live. It was interesting too because I didn't realize that high schools were actually feeders for public high schools. I mean, I can understand private, but I didn't understand there were some public high schools that were like feeders for Harvard.
So what the token says, as a kid in the 70s, we were forced to learn the metric system in elementary school. Yeah, same as you. When Carter was pushing it.
Was he the one? Okay.
By the time I got to junior high, the fad had passed and was back in the U.S. standard. Hugh says, I got pretty good at estimating how much was left in my 750 milliliter bottle.
It's always measured in metric drugs too.
Yeah.
Cocaine. Mm-hmm. No.
Gram by the gram,
absolutely, right? Yeah. Although what's funny is they call it an 8-ball because it is 1/8 of an ounce.
Oh, so Thomas went to A school at Fort Devens.
I don't know where
Massachusetts.
That is. Oh, is that in Massachusetts? Really? No.
I thought that Fort Devens was an army base.
Versus what did he say? Where he went? High school?
He was in the Navy. Went to A school. He's talking about A school.
What's A school? Army school?
No. A school is where in the Navy is where you go after boot camp or basic training.
What's A stand for? Like the first one?
Advanced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like in the Army, I was in the Army, it's AIT, Advanced Individual Training. In the Navy, they call it A school. That's where you get your grade in the Navy.
Your rank?
No, your grade, which is the job you do.
Like, so what, depending upon your competency after you get out of that school, then they kind of place you in?
So your grade is just like the qualification for your job.
Okay.
Is what they call it, your grade.
Right.
So you're an engineer, you're a bozeman, whatever.
How long are you in A school?
Depends on the job.
Oh, okay.
Could be 6 weeks, could be a year.
Can you sign up for whatever you want?
You have to. So to get into the military in the U.S., you take a test called the ASVAB, and they give you all these scores in individual areas.
Okay.
And then based on those scores, you qualify for a litany of jobs.
And what's this, like IQ test /
It's not IQ. They're essentially testing your rudimentary skills in different areas.
Like, do they give you memorization, pattern recognition?
There's pattern recognition. There's logic. There's basic math.
Okay.
And when I went in, if I remember correctly, you need to have 50 is the minimum score to get in
on this. And ASVAB. Okay.
So, and if you don't get over 50, or you need a 50, there's a score you need if you have a high school diploma, and a slightly higher score if you have a GED.
Okay.
And I didn't take any prep tests or anything for it. Like, you can buy prep books. There's classes that some recruiters will put you in for, like, prep tests.
Okay.
To get you ready. And I didn't do any of that. And when I signed up for the Army, they said, they take me to MEPS, and I take the test, and they put you in a room, right? You got to wait, and you go into the room to take the test.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did it, it's all computerized. Mm-hmm. And then when you finish, you go up to the front, they give you your score, and you go back to the other room to wait.
Did you get 100?
No, so it goes over 100.
Oh.
But yeah, my score was over 100. I didn't realize how high my score was at the time until you go in to meet with the job match. You go in and they tell you what you qualified for. Okay. And I went in, you qualify for everything.
Okay.
So I remember sitting, I finished really quick. It only took me like half the time it was supposed to. I was the first one done in my batch.
Did you use it? Is that regular for you, taking tests?
Yeah.
Me too. I always got shit for that.
So, but I finished, and I went to the back to the waiting room, and I'm the only one there. I'm like, I wonder if I fucked this up.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a while since I've taken a standardized test, right? So I'm like, did I fuck this up?
Did you have guys giving you shit about that?
Used to, yeah, especially in college.
Why?
I've got a funny test. Let me tell you this one. I got a funny one.
Why do they give a shit about that?
So I've got my score. I think it was one something.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sitting there.
What is it out of?
I forget what the overall score.
150 or something.
But I was over, and it gives you all your individual line scores, and all my line scores were really high.
Okay.
And so I'm waiting in the room, and then all these people come in, and this girl comes in, and she's like crying. She's like, "This is the third time I've taken it. I haven't gotten over 50."
Oh, dude.
And I'm like,
did she look like really stupid or something? I mean,
so I knew her. I met her the night before at the hotel, because they put you in a hotel the night before you take the test, right near the MEP station in Boston. So and they put you in Eastie, and they bus everyone over to Southie in the morning.
Great.
Or to MEPS near South Station.
Okay.
So she wasn't the brightest bulb, but
really?
I remember as I'm sitting there, and I'm like looking at my score, and like other people coming in like, "Oh, I got a fucking 70, yeah," and like, "Oh, I got a 60, all right,
sure."
And I'm just like kind of like playing it down. I'm like, I'm not gonna like throw out there what I got, because other people like,
I know, right?
And then someone's like, "Oh, what'd you get, man?" I'm like, "I did all right." Yeah, I'm like, it's like, "Oh, did you not pass?" I'm like, I did okay. I'll get an okay job.
How is it? It's sad.
Yeah.
That we have to do that. Like, I don't really get that, but because I can completely relate, because I work my ass off for some things. I mean, some things are, they come pretty easily.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this test is quite rudimentary.
So
they can admit as many people.
It's not super complicated, but what they're trying to do is determine your skill level in different jobs.
Yeah. Where would you be the most effective, quite frankly? But that's sad that she didn't pass. But see, I'll tell you something. I have buddies, oh my God, that are so brilliant, but they suck at taking tests.
Yeah.
You got any buddies like that?
Yeah. I have a few friends like that.
They take something like 2-3 times. I'm like, dude, you do this for a living already for me. Like, I'm not going to fire you. So what was your good story about?
Oh, so when I got to Thailand, I was going to school here. And so they said to me, you've got to take an English proficiency test, because it's required that every student at the university passes English proficiency test.
And that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
I'm like, you do realize that I'm a native speaker.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter.
And I've got multiple degrees from U.S. universities.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, it doesn't matter. Everyone has to take this test. Everyone needs a qualification for English, which it really makes no sense, though, because I'm a native speaker, right? That test is
just telling them you are doesn't mean.
Well, they know I am, because they have my transcripts. I graduated. So most schools will give you a waiver if you graduate from a U.S. school.
But I get it. I can see
even if you're not a native speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And so they like insist that I go on a Saturday and take this stupid English test.
Right.
The TU get.
Right.
And it's like a 4-hour test.
What?
Yes.
That part is a little ridiculous. I mean, I can understand why everyone had to take the SATs, regardless of your competence.
So I'm a PhD student, right?
Yeah,
So,
I get it.
So I show up. I'm like, fine, whatever. And I show up it's a Saturday morning, and I did not want to be there.
I get it.
Right, so it's like 9 a.m. on a Saturday. I showed up. I was wearing like flip flops, shorts, and like a tank top. I'm covered in tattoos, and like everyone shows up in like their school uniforms. Like a lot of high school kids take this test to qualify for international programs.
Oh, so everyone's in there, regardless of the degree.
Undergrads, so everyone. This is a general test they give to qualify.
Everybody.
Like CU has their own version of this. TU has their own version.
Got it. Yeah.
It's just essentially supposed to be a cheaper version of like the IEL or whatever.
Okay.
And so I show up, and like I may have had a bit to drink the night before as well.
Mm-hmm.
So not in the best of conditions.
Well, you're not getting any sympathy from me on that one, but okay.
So like a bit, right? Like I literally had like a couple of drinks, and like a couple bottles, like no, a couple glasses.
That's fine.
And so I show up, and I go in, and it's like a book that they give you with the Scantron thing, and so you got to fill out all the Scantron stuff.
Number 2 pen, yeah.
So they hand it out. I break the seal, open it up, start filling out.
And is it just ridiculous questions?
It is like 3rd grade, like bullshit.
Really? Like the brown cow jumped over the lazy.
So bad. So I zip through this whole test in 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so I throw it together. I walk up to the front of the class, hand it in,
Yeah.
and I leave. I'm starting to leave. And they're like, no, you can't leave. You have to wait for 3 hours before you can leave the room.
Oh, my God.
And so I look at my watch. I'm like, I've been here 20 minutes, which is 20 minutes longer than I should be here.
Yeah, but you just like, I'm withdrawing from this school.
So I was like, if you want to stop me or try to stop me, you're more than welcome to, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
yeah. Well, it's their time. Sure.
So I leave. Mm-hmm. And so literally I got one question wrong on the test, which I'm convinced the question was probably wrong, not me, because it was literally that easy.
Yeah.
And a couple of kids who were in my program failed. Which again, I don't think
they natives, obviously not.
They were ties.
Yeah. Sure.
So I get called into the principal's office, the dean's office, calls me, and they're like, "Did you take the TU get this week?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Did you show up in a tank top and flip flops?" Like, yeah, it's Saturday. It's like, "Did you leave at the 20-minute mark?" I was like, "Yeah."
Are you going to continue to ask me rhetorical questions?
Yeah. He's like, "So
you fucking child."
Like, did anyone tell you were supposed to stay? I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But you still left?" Like, "Yes." He's like, "Well, we might have to invalidate your score." I'm like, "Well, I'm not taking it again. So you do what you got to do."
So why did you? Clearly this is like day one. So I can understand why you never completed this PhD program.
This is like a year in. Like I didn't.
What? You're a year in and you have to take.
I was waiting for them to give me a waiver. They're like, "Oh, we're going to discuss it to see if we can give a native speakers a waiver." Because I was the first native speaker student in the program.
I mean, it sounds like there's way too much dysfunction early on. I'm surprised. How long did you last in that thing?
Years.
Oh, really?
Chris, we didn't schedule it until like 20 minutes before the stream.
Yeah.
That's why. Mm. So that's our fault this week, not YouTube's.
We've been pretty good about Saturdays, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
I think we haven't missed one since the week that I was like exhausted and couldn't even like. We were sitting downstairs. I'm like, I can't fucking do this shit.
Yeah, no, I know.
You're like, all right, go to bed. I was like, out.
Yeah, because then I get to go to BKK Bagels.
So I literally, I covered my coffee that morning with plastic, and I went upstairs.
Yeah, you think you texted me like 2 PM.
Yeah, I woke up like 2 or 3. Yeah,
that's good. If you need sleep, right?
But yeah, I thought that was when they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to take this." Then like, you can't leave a test until 3 hours into a 4-hour test. I'm like, the fuck, I can't.
Well, I mean, again, you can do whatever you want, right? I mean, if you apply to anything, there are the rules, and there are the ones that you can break, and those are the ones that are just deal breakers.
As far as I'm concerned, all rules are on the table for breaking.
Seriously, I mean, not just joking. You truly believe that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree. I mean, I think there are ones that, for me, that I definitely am okay with following, not least of which is wearing a mask outdoors. I'm glad you don't balk at that one, because then we probably wouldn't be friends.
Well, because, I mean, you got to make your own choices, right? Like,
agreed.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like some rules. I mean, I like having some degree of plan. I like being able to innovate and be flexible.
My thing is this: all rules are on the table for breaking, but you have to understand the consequences.
Yeah.
So for me, waiting another 2 hours and
Oh no, I'm not debating this
20 minutes,
specific
yeah.
one, but
Yeah.
you made a pretty blanket statement.
Yeah, no, but
about
I
all
do
of them,
believe
so-
all rules are on the table to break because
No, I disagree.
No,
For me, but I mean, for you that works for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice.
you have to make your own decision with it.
Totally. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
saying I will break every rule, but I'm saying all rules are on the table.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm glad that our society doesn't believe that in general, but that's good.
Well, I guess some people do, right? That's why there are people in jail
There
for
are some
murder.
people that do. That's why there's 500 million people in the United States that are all dead from
Al-
COVID.
Also, why America has what 20% of the world's prison population?
Here's the thing. I wonder why that is.
Well, there's a few reasons. We could go deep
I
on
mean,
that.
I'm sure part of it's racist, right?
The big part of it, but 8% of the world's population, 20% of their prison population.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be. I don't know. I mean, again, there's so many things in my life that, like, literally, if I didn't see them on CNN,
Yeah.
I would have no idea. I have no idea that there is more than 1 or 2 jails in the United States. Because that's been my experience. I've only been to 1.
Anyone who's
2.
ever watched the History Channel knows that there's like 12 of them in California.
It's big business.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, I know these things, but
So-
it's just like, firsthand experience.
I was watching this
Gratefully.
guy on YouTube. He was like 20 years in the California prison system, and he was
Really?
saying that California will ship you to Oklahoma to house you for prison.
Why? Because it's cheaper?
Yeah, so they outsource that. Like all their prisons are full.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's like a
Really?
a mandate
Jesus Christ.
they can't build more.
What?
Yeah, and so they'll send
Okay.
them to Oklahoma, and it's half the price of housing them in California.
And Oklahoma's got the space.
Yeah, not just the space, but it's like California has a prison in Oklahoma just for California inmates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He said
Wow.
they'll throw you on a bus and bus you out for like 3 days to Oklahoma.
And this is like a state prison in another state.
yeah.
That's kind of weird, right?
So it's a private prison
Yeah.
for California inmates
Right. And
run in Oklahoma.
wow.
Yeah.
And so the only people that can go there are Californians.
Correct.
Interesting.
Or people who were convicted in the California system.
Yeah. I don't talk about a system. I am so grateful. I never even smelled.
Yeah.
Never even came close.
And it's funny
And,
because apparently California, there's like everything's gang related in the prisons.
Yeah, I mean, again, all I know is what I've seen on TV,
So
basically.
like there's a couple of YouTubers who I follow who were like former California prison guys. And there's actually a guy on TikTok who I just started following. He did 21 years in prison.
Mhm.
And now he's doing he got out. Now he's like, he has a TikTok. He's making documentaries and stuff.
Mhm.
Cool guy.
Yeah.
But, the California stuff, and of course it's always shown in movies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I watched this movie called Shot Caller because it just has like all these great actors in it.
Mhm.
It's so good. But it was like the guy from Burn Notice is in it. The guy from Game of Thrones is in it. Like,
I mean, I've as you might guess, because of the club I'm in,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that have done time. And, I had a very good friend who got busted with a lot of blow. And so he was in Donovan State Prison, which is basically just east of San Diego. And it's kind of it's pretty scary. Like in real life, it's like really pretty screwed up what goes on in there.
yeah.
I did learn a couple of things though, that apparently, because you know how I guess this is real, like just like they have it in the movies. There's the cot and then you have a mattress.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, if you're somehow able to like convince your other overpower your cellmate and get 2 mattresses, that's called a Cadillac. Apparently, yeah. And then the big open area, it's called Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That's where all of the cots are and kind of thing.
Yeah,
So-
Thomas saw Shot Caller. It was a good movie. It was definitely brutal. Like the level of which that story was on was quite brutal. But
a lot of realism in that. Then.
not just that. I just think like the storytelling was very not Hollywood.
So, but it was about being in prison,
Yeah, about life of and it's the guy who goes.
institutionalized.
It's on Netflix, so maybe you'll watch it. But
Mhm.
and you should. It's just a very well acted and storied movie. But it's a guy who goes to jail, and it's just the progression of his life through that system and how that worked out, and like the craziness that goes with it.
How long was he in?
So, go watch it, and
Yeah.
I think he goes to jail for a DUI,
Mhm.
and so
For how long?
Well, watch it, and
Trust me, anything you tell me, I will literally forget by the time I leave.
Yeah, but I don't want to just throw pieces out because there's all these pieces that come together. So go check it out. I'll send you a link.
Yeah. Do because again, I'll forget. You ever watch Prison Break?
No.
I watched that. I thought that was okay. In fact, here's how much I remember TV shows. I watched it a second time with Gracie.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I'm like, I've seen this whole thing before, but I liked it. So I was with her. And
I told you I've been watching Billions.
Yeah. What's that?
What an amazing
What's it about?
show.
I assume money. Right?
So it starts out with this sort of rivalry between a hedge fund manager and an attorney general, state's attorney general.
And okay,
or assistant attorney general, Southern District of New York.
So good guy, bad guy. I mean,
yeah, but it's Damian Lewis is the hedge fund manager, who's an amazing actor, and then Paul Giamatti is the assistant attorney general.
Okay,
and just absolutely phenomenal acting. Maggie Swift, who was in Sons of Anarchy, is in it, and I just so good. But there's so many great like pop culture references in this show.
Oh,
like,
that's right. Yeah, you mentioned that. Okay.
And like they just lay them out there like nothing, and it's so good. And like I'm sure I'm not even catching them all, but I probably catch like 4 or 5 per episode. Mm-hmm. So good.
How recent is it? Is it fairly? I mean, I've seen it on my display, but like, I mean, is it new? A couple years old?
I think they started shooting it in 2016.
Okay.
And there's some parts of the show they try to mirror real life, or they hint at like influences from real life. Like there's characters that change after in real life when Trump was elected. So there's a change in government structure.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Type of stuff. And like, so there's really cool stuff. And the other thing that I liked about this show, they have a non-binary character in there, like someone who doesn't identify male or female, and the way they did it was so good.
Is her name Pat from Saturday Night Live?
No, Taylor.
Taylor.
But,
okay,
but like the way they introduce the character and they deal with the character is really great. And then they're
not trying to, and they don't have an agenda. They're not trying to like, oh my God, we are so pro open-minded bullshit.
Yeah, it's not like I talked about the Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Star Trek really just dropped especially because Star Trek.
Like, I know, right?
More finesse.
Precisely. Finesse. That's a great,
And especially like I talked about that Star Trek Discovery takes place in the year 3000 or something. Like we're still dealing with this in the year 3000. Come on. And also, that character is a human with a Trill symbiote in them. So there's all types of
They could have done a lot there. Anyway, this one.
So this one, right? It's funny because the guy who's the hedge fund manager, he calls in the person, and they come in. They're like, they were an intern at the time.
Okay.
And they come in like, hi, I'm Taylor. My pronouns are they, whatever.
Oh, really? They lay that out.
And he's like, whatever. Tell me about the fund you're here to pitch.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, okay.
Right.
And so all the main characters who interact with this non-binary character, Taylor, they end up, they always stick to those pronouns. But then there's what's great is that the show understands not everyone knows that.
Yeah,
right?
Of course,
so,
I would totally make mistakes.
And so
regularly, probably
people call her she, them she. People even like there's a thing with their father who calls her she.
What do they look like? Taylor looks more like a female. Or?
No, it's a woman. They've got a shaved head.
Okay.
It's a genetically female, but has a shaved head, and like the character is kind of on the spectrum. And then you kind of in one of the seasons, their father comes in. You learn that the father's sort of on the spectrum as well. Was an aerospace engineer.
Okay.
And so there's all this really.
So he's unemployed.
Well, yes, he got fired from his job.
That's sad,
or made redundant. But absolutely, like one of the. Just like such a good way to deal with it, and the fact that they understand, like, oh, there's going to be mistakes, people aren't going to get it, and they write that in.
Well, I think the best part is, okay, whatever. Yeah, give me your pitch.
He's like, that's not what you're here for. He's like, I need the pitch on this company. Tell me why I should buy it.
Hi, it's Mike and Dana, and we're both males.
So I met someone the other day, and they introduced themselves to me. This is a dude, clearly a dude.
Okay,
and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm Steve. He, him. Like what? Like,
he says, I'm
Steve, he, him.
And this is, what was the context? Were you like at a mall?
No, we met as like a business thing.
Okay.
A small like meetup.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just like, dude, so you're clearly a dude. You got a beard, you work out. Like,
no, but again, like, what does it matter?
So if this is the thing to me, if you prefer pronouns that are not gender specific, tell me that, because then I know. If you're clearly a dude, I'm going to assume, and you shouldn't be offended if I assume you're a dude.
He had a beard.
Not a very good one, but he had a beard.
Masculine features or like feminine, like a feminine male will operate.
And he was a white dude. And a white dude looks like he would easily fit within like my high school circle of friends.
Oh, okay.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe guys out there listening have a different experience with this, but so if someone prefers they, them, or whatever, tell me. I'm cool with that.
Sure.
And I'll respect you're helping me not offend you.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you.
Because otherwise, how am I gonna? Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm okay if you assume I'm a dude. Like, I'm not gonna tell you he, him.
Again, you are.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what it's like to be in their shoes.
100%.
So, but I would postulate that because of what we're doing in 2021, there's still a challenge.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot more acceptance, just like you and I are talking about it. But I can understand why, for some reason, they now feel that they need to go like the extra mile, if you will. And I don't really understand that, because one could argue that if you are so gender neutral, that you are going to remove the physical attributes of being male or female.
Well, maybe not. Right? You may very well.
I would think so. Again, I'm not in their shoes.
Yeah.
But if I'm like a guy and I want to be neutral, then the facial hair thing.
Well, I don't think that you want to be neutral, that you feel neutral. So this is my thinking.
Yeah.
Right. So if you feel, I don't think it's that you want to be, you feel that way.
Okay.
Right. And so maybe, or feel that way, or don't know, or feel some other way, whatever. But if you feel strong enough that you don't want a certain gendered pronoun applied to you, tell me. 100%.
Right.
But if you're a dude, you're a dude, you feel like a dude, I'm just assuming you're a dude. If you look like a dude,
that's the looking part. I mean, again, we can't tell how they feel.
Someone like Tony, right, looks like a dude, but if he told me like, I don't know, I'm like, yeah, I get that, because Tony, he's very
male.
He's very in touch with a lot of things. Even
he's just open-minded sexually, for Christ's sake.
But I mean, he's also, I think he's really in touch with a lot of things about himself. He has a strong understanding of himself.
Yeah.
In many ways, but like he could look like himself, 100% male, and still identify as something just because he likes to be jacked.
I guess I don't know.
And we discussed, like, he probably has some type of body dysmorphia.
I don't.
The way that he wants to be huge.
I mean, again,
but then again, he told us he wants to be huge so he could get laid. So
yeah, so you can meet girls, so you have more self-confidence. Yeah. I mean, we went, we did the whole thing at USD. We have 3 restrooms everywhere. Yeah. And of course that's because our clients are wealthy, so we'll do whatever they want. We did whatever.
Magan says that his pronoun is broke. He also goes by poor.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's it. Okay. So this person comes up to you and says, "Hi, I'm Steve."
Oh, so one tutorial is a fan. He said Chuck enjoys being punished. Yeah, he does.
I don't know what that means.
Watch the show, you'll get it.
Oh, in the show. Okay, got it. So, so he says that, and you're just like, cool. Or were you just? I mean, what was the next statement?
I was just like, yeah, fine.
But then, so you didn't start talking about like the topic that you were there to see,
no, yeah, we did. We moved on to whatever. I didn't call him out on it. I thought it was kind of silly to, like I said, if he had said,
you do.
If he had said they, them, that's cool. But like he, him, and you're clearly a guy. Like I figured.
I apologize. I thought he said, "Hi, I'm Steve." He, she. I thought he was on the middle. So for him to say, "Hi, I'm Mike," male.
He, him, yeah.
You'd be like,
I'm like, yeah, I knew. I figured it out.
So there was nothing about his features that said he's like a little bit, he's got feminine energy.
No, he's a dude, and he said he's a dude.
In other words, he's as much of a dude as I see when I see you.
Yeah.
Beard, buff, male, Adam's apple.
Yeah.
Well, that is really weird then.
That's what I
thought. Okay, I apologize. I thought I heard you say that he was like in the middle thing.
No.
And I'm like, well, then why wouldn't you get rid of the fucking beard? No, he's like clearly a dude.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, it would be the same like Eric walking up to me and saying that. I'd be like,
yeah, obviously Eric.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Yes.
That's weird.
So I thought that was.
I would actually have questioned, because I would have been interested why he says that.
I was just like, I want to talk about other shit,
especially in Thailand.
Yeah.
What do you feel persecuted here for being a dick? Jesus Christ. It's so fucking open-minded.
Still a white guy. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
1,000 baht will get you there.
Copy that, dude. Up top.
My
with 1,000 baht.
So we prefer to be Hugh. We prefer to be called Zorlox on our home planet. Hike says there are about 6 or 7 people at work that have added the pronouns to their email signature: he, him, she, her, etc. I thought about making a joke, but
obviously you can't with the HR bullshit.
Well, also, I mean, to make a joke about it, you're probably if someone is non-binary in that sense, and you make a joke about it, you're sort of poking fun directly at them.
Wait, but if you're doing he him,
yeah,
what?
Maybe
you're obviously binary.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying like
understand.
if you were Hike is saying he thought about making a joke about it, like
well,
maybe adding like
career limiting, I'm sure
something, and then. But I think, in my opinion, if you make a joke about it, then you are kind of poking fun at people who do have challenges there.
Are the people that are saying, I've never heard of this before, but apparently, so there's this he him thing. Does that mean like women would say that there are she her?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So are they doing that kind of like non-gay people put up like that?
So maybe out of solidarity.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
the people that put up what they did, like the rainbow flag. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, it's like Women's Day or something.
So Thomas says, my niece decided at 11 she is gender binary, which after I asked my brother means she has no gender. Fuck it. Her name is Allison and always will be, but she identifies as Alex now.
That's fine. I know plenty of Allisons that identify as Alex.
Yeah.
Dude, she's 11. My God, she's going to change what she wants to do by the time before she's 12.
Oh, so Thomas said, what happened to Gina Carano? So, Gina got called. So she got fired from Disney for basically posting basically comparing Republicans to saying Republicans or conservatives, not Republicans, were as prosecuted as Jews during World War II. And she put up a picture of Jews running in the street with Nazis chasing them down and said, this is what it feels like to be a conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got fired.
I'm guessing she's not Jewish.
No, and she got fired from Disney over that.
Good.
But then on her Twitter, she had put like Gina Carano boo bop beep or something like that, as like
making fun
of the pronoun thing. And a lot of people called her out on that. But yeah, it was really it was comparing conservatives to Jews in World War II that got her shit canned. And Gina's
come on.
I liked her character in the Star Wars in Mandalorian, but I'll be honest, she's definitely problematic the way she talks and thinks about things
in public out there. I mean, what it means, she's
in general, like her mindset.
Well, she's probably doing because she wants attention. Like, oh, I want to be different and visible, and so therefore this is the way that I'm trying to get attention. It's the same. I mean, there's fucking trolls on YouTube. Yeah, same thing. You know. Yeah,
but. Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily the pronouns. So that came out afterwards that people highlighted the pronoun thing on her Twitter. But she posted this. She kind of went full Ann Coulter.
I don't know what that means.
Like she just went like full like crazy conservative. Like after like she retired from being a fighter and got more into acting and more visibility, she just sort of doubled down on that.
It changes people big time, dude. I saw Mariano's comment there about Germany.
Did I miss it up top?
No, he's down a few.
Oh, okay.
It was about International Women's Day.
Oh, okay.
Because when were you over at 2 Digital Park? Did they have the International Women's Day posters up yet?
I was there with you.
I know. I don't remember when that was.
Yeah, it was like last week.
Oh, that's right. Wait, today's Saturday. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
they must have just put up in the last couple of days. Then
what's our friend's name? Paula.
Yeah. Paula from Alice's Pizza.
Yeah, I want to try her pizza.
Yeah, I mean, again, it won't be Paula, right? I mean, of course.
Well, what is?
And so
I had Paula the other day.
I saw the box outside. Is that what they don't have a?
No, they don't have their own boxes. No, but no, I stopped and got some the other day on my way.
Well, yeah, you did I was gonna say
you
did a video on it.
I got like four videos that day I filmed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I want to film some more tomorrow.
It's so funny the cycles that everybody goes through, right? Because I mean, I was so YouTube. I was loving it. I was doing a video a day. I was doing extra ones. I was sending ones just to my mom and Gracie. And now it's like, kind of lost interest.
Yeah, I mean, again, my channel's been up and down for years.
Oh yeah, that's kind of how we hung out.
Yeah,
we did a one on your show that was like what 8 months later.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, cruise over. We should do this Bangkok Strange thing.
And you're like, okay.
Like, yeah.
We ran into each other terminal or something, and then.
Yeah. Oh, and it was the next day they were closing it.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's interesting. Yeah. And I fist bumped you, and I remember Jib gave me shit.
Yeah, like,
just don't touch him. That was just really funny, of course. But
yeah. So one tutorial says less important, and pronouns are less important in Thai. Yeah. So So actually, one tutorial is Thai, but I think you live in the UK, right? One tutorial, I looked at your Twitter. But so in Thai, right, because you qualify your statements with a gender specific sound, right? Krup, ka, and actually ladyboys have a third sound, ha.
Oh, I didn't know that. I usually had. I guess I just thought they were saying ka.
Most of them say ka all the time.
Oh, okay.
But some of them will use ha. So
see, once again, I don't know enough of.
So I had a friend when I was in university who was a ladyboy, Thai ladyboy. And she explained this to me, that ha is like a sound, but most of the time they'll use ka, but ha for certain things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But again, it's also to be more proper, right? Is that true? Yeah, like more respectful, maybe.
Yeah, it's a part of it. So it's interesting. The language, I've been working on my consonants this past week to try to better my understanding of the sounds. Any
trajectory I was on to learn more Thai will be completely gone the minute Gracie gets here.
You've been working in Tagalog?
Tagalog, yeah, that's how you pronounce it, but yeah. Actually, no, I won't. And I'll tell you, because here's the thing. I always know how long it's been that Gracie and I have been apart, because her messages to me, her English has got a little bit less finesse to it.
Yeah.
But then we hang out, and within like 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, she's just like, you wouldn't even know who's messaging you. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Tom said, wait, what is the ladyboy one doing? Ha. And so krup, ka, ha. But again, like the ladyboys don't always say ha. They'll say like ka most of the time, and then the ha slips in there.
Do you know what the reasoning is? Like, do you know when they will use it?
I don't know specifically. I know that my lady boyfriend told me there's a joke about singha. Like,
like got it.
Singha must be the lady boy beer.
My lady boy beer. Yeah. Are you still friends with them?
We're on connected on Facebook.
Yeah, but not hang out.
Talk,
yeah. I really, and you met him in school. So I mean, well educated, right? They have a decent job.
I don't know what they do for work, but yeah, smart, educated, spoke English.
Not working at fucking Nana or something like that.
Nah.
I think we should interview them, unless you know one. I mean, one that is not the stereotypical,
one that one of our friends doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. She's hustling, and she didn't have a great upbringing, so she's trying to make money any way she can. I can appreciate that, but it's like, how many other fucking videos on YouTube are about that? Like, no. I want to talk with someone who potentially had challenges growing up.
Yeah,
but like they're completely female. The reason, if you don't know, the reason I want to do this, I had this experience years ago, New Year's Eve in Pattaya, and all good stories start that way.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. And I was talking to this lady boy, clearly a lady boy, but she described she had the full operation.
Yeah.
She had
the chop and channel
full on. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And I was like, well, I want to see it eventually. That'd be kind of interesting. But the point is that I'll never forget what she said. She goes, I finally had the operation and all the bruises healed and everything, from the thing. And she got out of the shower. She says, I looked myself in the mirror, and she goes, I finally felt normal. And I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So I want to talk with someone who's had like that, not necessarily the full operation, but like feels so comfortable in their own skin. I love talking with people.
Yeah, Thomas says interview one that's not at Nana or Cowboy or Patong.
I mean, because one could argue look, I don't know what their life is like. I'm sure it's significantly different than mine.
One deterrent says he recommends interviewing Ploy. I'm not sure who Ploy is. Is that the actress, the Lacon actress?
No, wait a minute. Ploy. Why do I know that name? Oh, no,
he's a common name.
Well, no, he means what's his name's girlfriend? Tony Hughes.
No, I think there's a famous actress named Ploy.
Oh, okay.
But that is also Tony's current or past. I don't know what status.
I don't know
what status she holds in the Tony stable at the moment.
Are you posting your video updates online?
Yeah.
This is recent for you?
No, I intermittently, like when I remember, because you got to copy it and go into line, then post the video, and then
the URL. Is that all you do? Yeah. Because I'll be interested to see if you're like watching that as a metric. Because I mean, I see that occasionally from other people, and I'm like, who uses this to post information? And apparently, it's a big thing here.
So yeah, people do share updates on their line timeline. So yeah, that's why I just throw it on there.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
So I have a couple friends who will comment on it occasionally or will like it when I post stuff. So I know people see it.
Yeah. And if you click on it, do you go to YouTube and watch, then view it?
Let's see. Go open up my profile.
Because I was outside watching, or sorry, not watching. I was outside
waiting.
What do you think of this? I mean, I like the logo, but what do you think of the thing underneath it? I dislike it.
I dislike the logo because it's showing me the ocean.
Yeah, well, again, I really want it to be animated.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
Show the people on camera with the.
I don't know if you. Let's see. Hold on. There we go.
So I like it that I like the color play. I like the design.
I really want to stick with black and white as much as I possibly can.
I don't like that it's just a smack middle in the ocean.
Well, it's the fucking Atlantic too. I would ideally Thailand would be right
in the middle. Yeah.
So, but again, you got to remember this is all beta. So anyway, yeah, I would agree with that. That it's funny. The first thing I look at when I see that is like, okay, there's no sort of identification with, but I do like the headphones around the world thing.
So Hike asks, did you gotta love Thailand? Did you used to walk to school uphill in the snow both ways?
I
Indeed,
did.
Yeah.
So did you.
I had cardboard shoes. Walked uphill both ways in 5 feet of snow.
The most amount of snow you ever had probably was in Cleveland,
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, really? Okay.
No, so at one time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because New England you get those dumps.
Yeah. Right.
Cleveland you get dumps, but they're not quite as crazy. And but you get more cumulative over the winter.
Okay. Yeah.
But Rhode Island, I think I had the most I ever got was like 5 feet, and then we had like 7 foot drifts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know, I mean, a couple of years ago we had 6 or so. I mean, it was just a ton of snow.
Yeah, so
couldn't get out the front door, kind of stuff.
I think the most I had where I lived was 5 feet, and then like just huge drifts. Like I remember I opened my front door, my entire front door was drifted.
You actually were not. What was your year of birth?
78.
78. So you will definitely have not remembered the blizzard of 78.
No, and I was born December 78. So it was,
a year later,
a year before me.
Yeah, it was in February. That was awesome though.
That was like what? 18 feet of snow or something?
No, it was about 12, I think. No, probably 10 at once.
I saw photos of like tractor trailer trucks just covered all the way to the top.
Yeah. No, you had it was a state of emergency.
Yeah.
Right? So National Guard had to come in. They had to get they couldn't just plow it, right? But yeah, that was pretty fun. I got to make tunnels everywhere in the snow as a kid. I was 10 years old. It's friggin' awesome.
BK out of
you like it?
Cool.
Yeah, I got to update it. I mean, again, the whole thing's a work in progress, but thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. I reached out to this one service that provides the DJs, right?
Yeah.
So the guy, he emails me back, of course, after a while. What does his email start with? Sorry, it's been so long, Mike. I'm just like, what?
Next,
who teaches you exactly? Next. So then he says, okay, it's this much, like $500 a month, and you get all of this and everything. I was like, okay, fine. I'm interested in it. I'll try it for 1 month just to see the process. I send this to him like my Monday night or something. So then yesterday shows up and he hasn't gotten back to me. So I email him. I said, look, you haven't gotten back to me. I just assumed this isn't going to work for you. That's great. I'm moving on. So then he responds. I get up to this morning. Then he responds right away. Well, we already replied on Tuesday and we sent you a thing to find out about payment because you're in another country. I'm like, dude, Visa works globally, you fucking jackass. Like, what are you going to invoice me and have me write you a fucking handwritten check to pay for it? I'm just like, dude, So
Mike is asking if we do the Hill Tribe school trip.
Oh my God. I don't even know when that is ever going to happen.
We got to wait for COVID. We got to wait until vaccination rolls out for them because we talked about this before on the show, Mike. I think it's been a while, but
it has. We should probably update people.
So essentially it is, we could go there, but if we do go there, what happens is we're putting that school at risk or that whole village.
Yeah. Just not
because if one of us were to bring COVID up there, it would spread like wildfire. And most of them, they don't have exposure to the actual cities, the outside world. So that's always a risk.
And think about it, like getting there, the amount of people that we'll interface with, it's only going to take one. And we probably wouldn't even show symptoms.
No.
We'd just be like, we breathe on somebody.
And get sick when we get back, but it could devastate their whole village. So that's the holding pattern we're in now. And the teacher will let us know when.
Has she gotten back to you? I mean, do we need to send her like a couple $1,000 baht or something again?
I mean, if she does, I'll just take care of it. But
no, I understand. But I mean, at least the guys can get an update on, hey, we just bought like pencils or books or something. Like
I'll talk
what do we have? 45,000 baht?
Something like that.
Yeah. Jib, it's in Jib's account, just so you guys know.
What's Eric say here? Fuck, Dana, his ass missed my epic birthday party and do a podcast.
Oh, your birthday party's tonight?
No, this is like a week ago. Eric's like, yeah, we're gonna tear it up tonight. I'm like, I'm doing a podcast. He's like, fuck that.
Oh, with the mask guy.
And I was like, I'm gonna be done at like 11. And he's like, no. He's like, everything closes at 11. He's like, I'll be home smashing at least 2 girls by then.
Closes at 11.
That's what he was saying like a week ago.
Eric, don't you go out like at 11? Like, don't you start going to the clubs at 11? Well, happy birthday, by the way, dude. It's cool.
Oh, what's he saying? And then he went back to, so better than your boy Bing. I'll tell you that, Eric. Ha ha ha. Eric doesn't, listen to the thing. I love Eric. Eric's a great guy, but he's from Cleveland. No one who grew up in Cleveland knows anything about good pizza. So you just can't trust Eric when it comes to pizza. It's unfortunate.
I would guess that pizza's not that, because I don't remember St. Louis having really great pizza either.
No, and they cut it in the squares.
Yeah, I remember. I only think I had round in St. Louis, but I mean,
no,
Cleveland
it's rounded and they cut it in squares.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird. What? Why?
Yeah, it's just a thing. They cut it.
Don't they have like the? Okay.
No, so they take it and they cut. They do like 4x4. And so you get like the middle piece is all
awesome,
cheese,
yeah, with no crust.
And
though.
actually, the best piece though is like the little edges because you get like the burnt
like
cheese.
little snaps.
It's like you get these little triangles on it.
Now you were making your own for a while.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do one maybe next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like I have a deep dish pan. I got the pizza stone in the oven, and I've got a good blend of flour that I like now.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
So it's like 1 cup of bread flour, 1 cup of pizza flour, and then I ferment it like overnight. Essentially, I do like a 15-hour fermentation.
Nice. I have Gracie, and I say I would like to eat. That's the solution for me.
And she boils the pig.
She absolutely. I will tell you, dude, the best pork I've ever had in my life was like literally an hour old. Oh, it tasted so good. What do we got going on for comments?
Mike says Cleveland tries to emulate Detroit style pizza. Not even. The Detroit style is actually really good. The way that apparently the rumor is that the Detroit pizza is cooked in old automotive tins.
Yeah, sure.
But I thought the crispiness and I actually like that, the kind of edge to edge cheese and sauce thing that Detroit does. So they got a square pan, they go edge to edge, cheese to sauce.
Last time I was in Detroit, 3 years ago, maybe something like that, and I did go to a diner in the morning for breakfast, and it was one of these old diners. And the greatest thing about it is the woman, she would smoke behind the counter. And then when the food...
What year was this?
Like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And it was fucking awesome. I was so excited, right? And then I'm sitting there, I'm going, oh, man, she's going to say it. She's going to say it. She comes over, calls me honey.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. And she looked like she was about 106.
Yeah.
Probably 41.
Rode hard, put away wet, as we like to say.
Exactly. But she's standing there behind the counter waiting for the order to come.
Yeah.
And then when he, lays the plate out on the thing, hits the dinger or whatever, she's got her ashtray right there. So she puts her cigarette and comes over. And but there's no ashtrays because you can't smoke inside. I mean, even in fucking Detroit, you can't smoke indoors. But I was just like, this place is friggin' awesome. I literally hope there's an ash in my pancake. This would be so friggin' authentic.
I remember one time when I was in the Army, we were moving
How long were you in?
Just under 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
So we were moving a transport vehicle, and me and my sergeant, and he's like, look, we were out the night before. And he's like, I'm gonna drive the first leg, and we're in North Carolina. We're going north. He's like, so grab some sleep. We're in a vehicle called LMTV, which is a big cab over, replace the 5-ton or the deuce and a half. So he's like, grab some sleep, throw the air muffs on, the noise deadeners. He's like, grab some sleep, and he's like, I'll wake you up when we're gonna switch.
Mm-hmm.
So kick back, right? Feet up on the dash, passed out, right? You only get these 2 basically shitty folding seats.
Yeah, I've seen the accommodations.
So I'm like knocked out in that. He's driving. I wake up because we're going down like a bumpy road, right? We're supposed to be on the highway, and this thing does like, you're lucky to get it up to like 60.
Yeah, right.
And
but the treads of those tires,
Yeah.
Jesus, they're like arms.
And you just hear like the whole time you're moving. So I wake up because we're going down this bumpy road. I open my eyes, we're on like a dirt road with like trees on either side of us.
Intentionally?
I'm like trying to like figure out what's up, and then we pull into a parking lot just full of semis.
Okay.
And it's still all dirt, nothing paved.
Yeah.
And he pulls around, he backs it in between 2 semis. I'm like, well, what are we doing? He's like, oh, we're stopping for breakfast.
Okay.
I'm like, where are we? He's like, we're somewhere in Carolina. He's like, we're still in Carolina. I'm like, all right. And so we're going to get out. He's like, before we get out, take off your blouse.
Your blouse?
Yeah, that's what they call the top.
Meaning your green shirt?
No,
Like army?
like your overshirt, like the you wear a t-shirt, then your military blouse over,
Which is the tan? Is the color?
the camo. The t-shirt's brown.
Oh, okay.
So I take it off, and I throw it in. And he's like, just leave it in here. So we're walking. I'm thinking we're at a truck stop.
Yeah.
As we walk out, I look up. I see this sign, 24-hour adult cafe.
Okay.
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Clearly,
I'm
yeah,
like,
don't worry.
Okay. He's like, if anyone,
Do I need cash?
he goes, if anyone asks, your name is Airman Jones.
Okay.
So we walk up. It's like $20 to get into this place. Like it's $20, but you get a $20 coupon for breakfast.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay. And we walk in, and it is essentially a all nude truck stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I never thought about that
So
before.
he's like, oh yeah, I've been here a bunch. It's a great spot.
Clearly.
It's like maybe
My
9 in the
tax dollars at work.
maybe 9 in the morning.
Wow. And
So-
it's like busy?
It was all truckers in there, like,
Okay.
but you can imagine the type of strippers that are in a place
Day shift.
9,
Yeah. Bad news.
9 in
bears.
the morning.
Bad news.
So we go up. He's like, we'll sit at the bar, and so we go
Okay.
up to this bar. It's all mirrors on the bar.
Oh, so when they stand on it, you can look up their skirt kind of thing, or what?
They're not wearing skirts.
Okay.
They're just full nude.
Really? And like high heels only?
Yeah.
Okay. Not
It-
flip flops like in
No. So we're sitting at the bar. And there's a couple girls dancing. The waitress comes over, nude.
Right.
She's like 50.
Wow.
Sounds like she smokes like 20 packs a day.
Looked 100 and
Yeah. She's like, hey, honey,
she just got off her shift at the Detroit diner where I was at.
what do you want for breakfast? And so we're sitting at this bar, and I look over and just like straight line into like her like wrinkled and flabby stomach. I'm like,
Wow.
"Ah."
That's interesting. Why would she? Okay.
And she's wearing a garter, like just a garter, no panties. And she's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I'll have the omelet. And my buddy's like, yeah, I'll have the omelet too. The omelets were like $18, right? So it's like,
Okay.
here's our voucher. So I got like omelet, coffee, and orange juice. I ended up paying like $6.
Awesome.
And so she brings the food back over, right? And she's filling the coffee up the whole time that we're there. And there's at one point my food comes, and there's a girl dancing like right over my food. So I
A
like,
little
kinda,
younger than this one?
yeah, not much.
Really?
So I'm like trying to cover my mouth. Like, it's okay. I'm gonna eat now.
Oh, you worried about like Jesus, dude.
So she fills our coffee a few times, comes back over, and my buddy's like, oh, well, my sergeant, he pays. He's like, let me get the check. She gives it to him. I think it was like $6 or $7 each after the voucher, the $20 voucher.
right,
again.
exactly, sure.
So he takes like a 20 and slides it in her garter. He's like, all right, thanks. Slaps her on the ass.
To the old waitress lady?
Yeah. And she gives him a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. That is a pretty interesting story. I mean, I've got some, stripper stories too, which of course we'll never discuss on the podcast, but
Yeah.
that's a really good story.
Yeah, that was a crazy. That same trip, we're driving back, and we're passing by where he lived, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "So, if we stop at my place, you have any interest in fucking my wife?" I'm like, "What?"
Really?
Yeah. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "She likes a little something extra every now and then." He's like, "You could be that something extra. I'll just watch."
Huh.
I was like, "I'm gonna take a pass on that one."
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, I've done some crazy.
He goes, "Hey, don't worry about it." He's like, "A lot of my buddies have banged her."
I have had guys ask me that, say it to me, and even when I was just wasted out of my fucking mind.
Oh, so Dave is
Can't
invited
imagine.
us to his new house and his wedding in October.
Oh, dude,
Sarin.
that's awesome. Wait,
Road
you're
trip.
not? I thought you already got married, Dave.
I think
It's
it might be like married legally, but not
Ceremony,
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. October, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
oh, and you got the thing, right? You got the pass. Where are you gonna head to, man?
Oh yeah. So he bought it like right before you, I think. So Mike, he's a Detroit guy. Actually, I saw your email, Mike. I got to write you back with the photo. I might have written you back with the amazing photo of your light box for the Nissan event. But so he's a Detroit guy. So he's talking about Buddy's Pizza, Detroit. Buddy worked at an auto plant, brought home steel rectangle part pans, greased them with lard, dough down, then cheese and pepperoni, and then tomato
Dude,
sauce.
you're awesome.
Hey, babe.
You're so friggin' awesome.
When'd you get home?
Thank you.
Just now? All right. How's Stan?
You think?
Jib's here, everyone.
I don't think.
So
when they're that small, I don't know.
actually, like I said with Mike, I like the Detroit style pizza where they go edge to edge with everything. So
with everything, so there's no crust essentially.
No, and you get those burnt bits all the way around.
That must be awesome.
Like especially if you eat cheese, the way the cheese kind of burns and caramelizes around the edge, phenomenal.
There was one place in Detroit where you basically had to like put your name in and then wait for like hours to get in for breakfast.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name. It wasn't too far away from the river. But
Joseph Moore says gallery pizza. Galleries, it's okay. Not great.
Never been. I'm so psyched to check out all of these places once Gracie gets here. It's going to be awesome.
I quite enjoy this the celery conversation.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. That's it's weird though, right? I mean, is he the only guy that's ever asked you that? Bang your wife? Because I've had several guys. I'm like, dude,
not the only, but the first.
Yeah. I don't
I have 100% rejection rate on that.
Yeah, copy that, right? And I don't know whether it's funny when people ask me like shit like that. I'm like, and you probably, I was like, look, dude, here's the deal. I'm an only child. Yeah. I don't share. You are not coming anywhere near.
When he goes like, I'll just watch. And I'm like, what? He's like, you don't have to wear a condom if you don't want to. I'm like, what? Like, I'm good. Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, did you have like sounds of banjos in you like in the middle of Carolina?
I've been hooking up with this other chick at like he knew the chick I was hooking up with from the base. So
why? Because he'd watch you and her have sex?
No, but he was always like, how is she? Like,
so you think maybe he was expecting like for you to
reciprocate? I don't know, but
wow.
But he's like, oh yeah, a lot of my buddies bang my wife. She loves it.
Now, is this your boss? Like your sergeant, right?
Yeah, my boss, my direct boss. He's like basically my supervisor.
Yeah.
So he oversaw my entire team.
So you didn't like have sex with his wife? He could like seriously like just court martial you or something? I mean, how ridiculous.
I was just like, I would rather not. He's like, that's fine if you don't want to, but he's like, if you want to.
I mean, we're just swinging by.
He's like, that'd be great.
Wouldn't it be funny if you like went over to his house, like not to do that, but he opens the door. He's like, I want you to meet my wife. And it's the waitress. 50-year-old fucking
no, I knew his wife. Another reason I said no.
Dude.
But so we stop at his house anyways. Like, well, I'm going to stop and I'm going to bang her then. So just wait for me like 10 minutes.
Wow. And then when can you be like 20, right?
He's got like two. I'm in my 20s. He's got 2 kids. And so,
were they watching as well?
No. So it's like midnight when we stop at his place. Okay. His wife answers the door in like a lingerie. She's like, "Oh, come on in." And we go. They let me sit. They're like, "I'll just sit in the kids' playroom and wait." And like literally, their bedroom's like right next to the thing. And so I'm just like, all I hear, it's like, but it's like,
wow,
yeah,
huh? I mean, efficient.
He ended up going on to be. I don't want to say what he ended up doing, but he ended up going to law school after.
Really?
Yeah, and working.
Is his name Tony?
No, but he worked for a state.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
What time? I noticed we've been at like 26, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
We're holding well. Yeah, we're almost at 2 hours. So, Eric bought the Air Asia pass.
Oh, dude, totally worth it, right? It's gonna be fun, dude. I'm really excited about that. Psyched for the one I got.
He said it sucks to book this time.
What do you mean? Well, you got to do 2 weeks out, and then there are blackout. Like if you have a real job and you work on Monday through Friday, it's a bitch because like flying Tuesday, Wednesday is a cakewalk, but. Yeah, there are some weekends that are blocked off and everything, but I found it very easy to do.
Token says my buddy who's Lebanese owns a pizza place in Silicon Valley that has been voted best New York style pizza in San Jose. It's really nice.
I tell you, every time I've been in San Jose, there is definitely an energy in San Jose, like relative to entrepreneurs and like new companies. It's pretty neat. I dig it. It's expensive, very expensive.
But Joseph, Dan, I believe your place you're talking about is outside Lumber. Joe knows the spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be right on 95.
I mean, dude, if you are from that area and it's on 95, I'm sure you know about it.
I remember there being huge signs on 95, but like I said, when I woke up and we're going down the dirt road.
Do you remember what it was called?
I do not.
Because all I remember seeing signs for it because we used to drive all the way down to Florida, Starvin' Marvin's.
Yeah.
And there was another kind of like
there's a south of the border place in South Carolina, but as soon as you cross from North Carolina.
And dude, how many billboards are there for that south of the border place?
Every mile for like 1,000 miles.
What the hell? They must have got a smoking deal on those or something.
Also,
right?
Eric's having issues booking, right? So he says worth if you can actually book.
Yeah.
October is pretty much booked out. No holidays available. The problem is there's no list of blackout.
Yeah,
dates
no,
available.
there is absolutely. I know that. Yeah, I can send you the link to the list.
All right, so Eric, Mike's gonna send you one,
or ping me because I'll forget.
Yeah.
But not that it matter. I mean, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because I mean, if you know, then all you got to do is go one day forward, one day back. I mean, it's imperfect, but I'll tell you, you get places for like no money. Yeah. It allowed me to go. I mean, as far as
what's the tax on a flight?
So, I believe it's about $8. I think the problem really arises is, I mean, effectively the only way you're going to do this is buy it online. Yeah. You're not going to like reserve it and go to a friggin' place with cash and do the whole thing. So they charge you a fee to actually use a credit card, which is a bit ridiculous. And it's like 100 baht or 200 baht or something like that. Yeah. So anyway, but the cool thing is that once you do that and you've actually bought the ticket, then to get the upgrades, they don't charge you to use your credit card on those other things, and they don't charge you tax on them, I don't think. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, round trip flight was always like less than $20 because I mean, I would get the extra legroom, which on AirAsia,
it's like $10, right?
Yeah, it can
400 baht.
Yeah, it's like it depends on the flight as well as how far it's. But it's like, you know, I think I've paid as high as 560.
Have you ever got the AirAsia flight with the fucking bus seats? The hard plastic seats on an AirAsia flight?
No, the only company I've ever flown that had those was I wanted to say Seattle, but that's not right. What do you Frontier?
One detour. Sorry, man, my Thai's not good enough to read what you wrote. So could you rewrite it in English if possible?
It's interesting that Google does it. Do you have Translate turned on in your in your browser?
Yeah. Eric, Dana has. Indeed, I do. Indeed, I do have your package, Eric.
Giggity, Joe.
Eric knows, Joe. I sent him a message. I have a package from him. We just haven't met up yet. 200
baht. Yeah, it depends where you
go. Maybe your supervisor is shooting blanks and needs a free sperm.
No, there you go.
He ended up getting another chick pregnant not long after that.
That a boy. Yeah, it's good.
He's one of those guys. He had a few like girlfriends plus chicks he was banging. He had a wife, a couple of girlfriends, plus a few girls he was banging.
I mean, look, I'm not going to judge or anything like that, but I mean, I've done crazy shit too. Yeah, totally. Yeah, as long as you're open to it, right? Yeah. And you're both. I mean, if you're being dishonest in anything, it's kind of annoying.
So I think and I don't know the guy's whole personal story, but I think for a long time he was banging just a lot of chicks, despite the fact that he was married.
Yeah.
And then when he got, I think his wife ended up finding out. Because at one point he had a photo, I remember, on his desk of like him standing behind the couch. On the couch were like 3 women. And he's like, dude, this photo is my wife, my girlfriend, and the chick I'm cheating on both of them with. All in the same photo.
Pretty proud of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was ecstatic.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think what happened was his wife found out, and then they worked out the deal that they ended up having. And then
right. I mean, and again, if it's they're both, hey, let's do this. Okay, fine. But again, I'm an only child. I do not share.
Yeah.
No.
And when he was like, oh yeah, she loves it. All my friends come over and bang her. I'm like,
Clearly without condoms.
I was like, oh, dude, come on, bro.
Yeah. He's like, did he ever say, and I'm thinking of opening up a restaurant where the truckers drive? Because there's a ripe audience.
Yeah, I think he had no inhibitions.
To be fair, though, I mean, like, you didn't as much as I did, and I didn't go full bore either. But I mean, when you first came to Thailand, right? I mean, like eyes wide open. Yeah. Kind of thing, and I had a little bit of that going on, but I don't know. For me, it's just not comfortable for me.
So one tutorial was asking where were you born? So actually, really close to each other. I was born in Rhode Island. Mike in Massachusetts.
Worcester. I was born in Worcester.
Oh yeah, pa. Up Worcester.
We lived in Shrewsbury for the first on Monadnock Drive.
Monadnock.
First 2 years of my life. And then my dad said, okay, we're moving to a much better facility.
Yeah. So I grew up in Rhode Island. I was born in Rhode Island, grew up in Pawtucket. Mike in Massachusetts.
Yeah. About 15 miles south of Boston on the South Shore, little town called Hingham.
So Worcester's only 20 minutes from Providence, essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
30.
It depends on traffic, of course.
Up 146.
Right? Yeah, up the 146. Totes.
When I lived in Lincoln, which is right on 146, is literally I could shoot up to Worcester in like 30 minutes easy.
To do what? Take a shit?
No, like I had a couple friends who lived up there. Or like sometimes you go to like go watch fights up in Worcester.
Right. Yeah. No, I never. I think maybe I was there, I don't know, a couple times, but
Also, he says in the UK it's easier to distinguish British accents. I have a friend who, I guess he's from Brighton, and I always thought like his accent,
UK.
yeah, and not Mass, and I always thought his accent was like the predominant British accent. And I met people from London. I'm like, oh, they're actually more understandable. And then I met someone from Liverpool. I'm like, are you speaking English?
Yeah, I know. The closer you get to Ireland, it decreases, I think.
I'm pretty sure Scottish people don't speak English. Actually, Irish people from Dublin, I have a much easier time understanding than British people.
I am actually. How much time we got? Where are we at?
We're at 2 hours.
Yeah, I tell you what. Let's close it out because I got a completely separate topic, and we can talk about that on
the pre-record.
Recorded. Yeah, absolutely.
And actually, then we'll be just about ready to start publishing.
Because we'll have 4 or 5.
4.
Yeah. And then don't forget, starting next week, I will be doing these remotely. Because I will be in solidarity. I will be in lockdown with Gracie.
And I think you should just extend your quarantine to my house.
I understand, but I don't. So therefore.
I think you're wrong. Actually, you should have moved in across the street before this.
Oh, my God. I'm so glad I didn't do that. What a pain in the ass my life would have been. It's been because, dude, the amount of paperwork that I've had to get done within 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. Thank God I didn't have anything else going on. Just drop everything
right across the street,
and it's way too far away from Sukhumvit.
30 seconds.
I walked to BTS.
You could walk to the BTS branch, just slightly longer.
Compared to where I live now, no, slightly is not 4 kilometers.
Not
round
4
trip.
Kilometers, 1.4, 2.8.
Well, you're 1.7 actually.
Like 1.4.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're 2.8 total.
Yeah. Anyway, it's too far away.
All right, guys. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this live stream. Thank you for hanging with us on this weekend, enjoying our coffee.
Your coffee? I just drink water.
Yeah. No, where's your 3-in-1?
I should have bought some actually at 7-Eleven. I may go down there now. Maybe she's friggin' open. I kind of want some Baran action going on.
Very possible.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, stay strange.
Peace.